Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the wait is over. Football is back. College football week 1 has just ended. The NFL kicks off this Thursday. The greatest time of year is officially back, which means it must be time for another episode of 609 Sports Talk, which starts right now. And welcome in everybody back to another edition of 609 Sports Talk live here on Facebook, YouTube, and of course every Wednesday. Spotify is where these episodes will be dropping. So if you aren't able to catch us here on Mondays, you can check them out over there in the spare time. And of course, this is the show that unites fans, ignites debate, and I don't know what's going to happen tonight, so don't ask me. But as always,
we're igniting fans tonight.
Oh yeah, we're going to ignite something, all right. We are your hosts, Sam Nelson, Tyler Adams. We, of course, are joined by our good friend from Chicago Sports HQ, Mr. Dustin Reese. And we will be joined by our good friend, Bruiser from the Dueling Aces, a little bit later on in the show to talk some college football. But, gentlemen, how are we tonight?
My blood pressure is a little bit elevated right now, but outside of that, we're doing good.
Sounds about right.
As for me, you already know. Victory Monday. The last one heading into night 1 of the NFL season. Thursday night.
Yes, and for all the psychopaths that believe A.J. Brown was actually not going to play in the opener, he's not even on the injury report.
Oh, but hey, if we want to make things real interesting, since you said somebody from college football is going to be on later, keep your eye on Alabama in the coming days.
Are we talking
I don't want to keep it
coach-wise?
As Kalen DeBoer has pitchforks out at him right now, and it seems like he may not even make it to week 5.
That'd be hilarious. Because I remember last week we were talking about coaches on the hot seat, Sam. And I think you tried to defend him a little bit and said he'd get a little bit more time.
The comment that was brought up the other day is completely accurate. It basically said that Kellen DeBoer, after taking Washington to the national championship game, had a chance to be a Washington legend for the next decade if he stayed in Washington. He let ego and greed get the best of him, took an Alabama job, and now there is pitchforks coming for his head.
Mind you, I don't have a beard long enough to be doing this, but it's almost like someone has been saying this since the end of last season.
Yeah.
Because once again, I understand it's a lot different back then with Saban. He had stacked rosters. He dominated the SEC in a 14 playoff. If you are going to be the successor to him and you can't get in a 12-team playoff, which had teams like SM freaking U in it, and Arizona State, strictly because they had the white version of Brandon Jacobs at running back. If you can't get in there, and this is how you start the season, tide's going to be rolling down the freaking stream in a minute. Okay, I'll talk more about Alabama later because I could do that for an hour. But, gentlemen, last week, something happened. Now, look, as we are going to talk college football later in the show, we have a whole bunch of NFL stuff. We are going to have our final top 10 list. Yes, Tyler, we already know yours is terrible. We already know that. We're going to have our top 10 quarterbacks for the 2025 season. We are returning Tyler and I's favorite segment, which of course is around the NFL. Get to give all our week 1 predictions. But, gentlemen, however, last Thursday, now, mind you, a jersey number has been changed, so this is not very accurate, but this happened.
Just kind of scribble a 1 off of there.
Yeah. Just imagine that the one of the ones is not there. Okay, 1 + 1 does not equal 2 or 11. So just so we all know that. But Micah Parsons has been traded to the Green Bay Packers in a package that sent back Kenny Clark and 2 first-round picks to the Dallas Cowboys, who clearly, yes, they need defensive tackle help outside of Diggy Zua. I hope that's how you pronounce his name. They needed some interior defensive line help. Mozzie Smith stinks, and Cowboy fans have tried to tell me for 3 years now he's better than Jalen Carter. Which, oh please, whatever you're smoking, let me have some. But and of course, Micah gets the extension he wants, $47 million a year. $136 million of that money that he got in that deal is guaranteed. Gentlemen, I guess the question's there: who won the trade? Now that we put this poll question out on Friday, for the love of God, Tyler, please do not let me go through this show and not put the damn results of the poll question. We have had 3 poll questions over the past year, and I have not read them all because I forget. So please do not let me forget that tonight.
Sam, would you like to start with what the people think?
You know what? I would love to. That's actually a very good idea. So, the poll question we put out on Friday: who won the trade, the Packers or the Cowboys? 385 votes this poll question got, with 73% saying the Packers and 27% said the Cowboys. So, gentlemen, and to the people watching at home, who do you guys think won the Micah Parsons trade?
So I'm going to say those 27% of the people, you picked the wrong choice.
I was going to kind of disagree on that.
Really? I'm interested. I'll let you start us off, Dustin.
Because you have to consider the Packers may have won the deal now, but did the Cowboys win the deal and win the deal in the long run, depending on what they get as the first-round picks? If the Packers don't make it to the Super Bowl, let alone win the Super Bowl with this trade, did the Cowboys actually lose the deal if they are able to rebuild and retool their roster to set themselves up for future success?
So that's a good way of looking at it.
That's the same thing that I thought of when the Bears traded for Khalil Mack from the Raiders. I said the Bears won the trade up front, which they did because you saw how good the Bears were that first year that they had Khalil Mack.
Yeah.
But the Raiders ultimately won the trade in the long run because that trade is what got them Henry Ruggs. That trade is what got them a lot of that trade got him Josh Jacobs. Like that trade got him a lot of those pieces that got him into the playoffs back in 2022. So you could make the case that the Raiders won that deal in the long run before Ruggs did what Ruggs did and before all the coaching drama happened in Vegas.
Yeah, and then Jacobs left.
Yeah.
So that's Raider specific issues though.
Yeah.
But I understand that.
And Parsons might not play this weekend. So
interesting.
So that'll be another thing to look at because he's having problems with his back and he's getting an epidural tomorrow.
Oh.
So he's dealing with an L5 and an L5 and an L4 vertebrae issue in his back right now.
So from the Cowboys' perspective, yeah, you got I guess you can call Kenny Clark a Pro Bowl talent. He makes that I wouldn't say he makes their defense better, but he doesn't make them worse. He's going to slot in, he's going to play good football. The 2 first-round picks are going to come down to where they are going to be picking because the Packers, they're going to be a good team.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going to be picking in the top 10. So the Cowboys aren't going to be getting these high picks, so they're going to really have to hit on whoever they come across in the next couple of years with those extra first-round picks. It could work out and benefit them in the future to rebuild and solidify their team on the offensive and defensive side of the ball because they definitely are going to need to do that. But, yeah, in the short term, The Packers, I mean, Micah Parsons, for me, moved their needle from a good defense to a great defense. I had higher expectations for their defense coming into this season, and now adding in Micah Parsons on the pass rush, I feel like it strengthens their position a little bit better in a loaded NFC North.
Yeah, and I mean, look, Dustin kind of hit the point early on there, saying that for the Packers right now it looks like they've won it. The Cowboy side, it's kind of incomplete. It's like the Carson Wentz
Well,
trade.
it's kind of what Anthony just put there too, and that's kind of what I've heard since the Cowboys made this trade. A lot of people expect Dallas to be picking in the top 10, potentially the top 5 after making this deal, because they don't think Dallas is going to be very good this year. But other people have said they might try to package those 2 first-round picks that the Packers gave them for an additional first-round pick this year to essentially try to pick twice in the top 10. That's why if you can get 2 top 10 picks, similar to what Houston did when they got C.J. Stroud and Will Anderson, then you can make the case that the Cowboys won the deal, because if you can package those 2 picks to get a second pick in the top 10 and plus your original pick in the top 10, you're setting yourself up for long-term success with those 2 moves.
Yeah, that's a good way of thinking about it. I like that.
Yeah, and I mean, now you got to rely on Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones to actually make good decisions.
They do.
First off,
they do. That is the one thing I will give Jerry Jones credit for. Like, I hate him as a person. I hate him as a GM. I hate everything that he does, but he does know how to draft. And that is one thing that I will give Jerry Jones a shit ton of credit for. Like, he's always drafted well. So if you give this guy 2 top 10 picks, he's going to nail at least one of them. And there's a good chance that he nails both.
Yeah, and I mean, even this past year's draft, I only gave them a low grade because the first round pick was not a bad pick. It was just a little too early. Tyler Booker was a first round talent. He's the best interior offensive lineman in the draft. Oh, not to mention, what have I always said? I will take guys that can block in the SEC. If you block in the SEC or in the Big Ten, you're good. I'm chilling. That's a good pick. They took my favorite edge rusher in the draft. In the second round, Tyler, we were there. It broke my heart that Donovan Ezeraku went to the freaking Cowboys. And he is going to be a damn good player for them. They drafted Jaden Blue out of Texas, who I think could be a very good running back. I'm not saying the guy's going to come in and be Zeke Elliott or something like that, but he could still be a flat-out good player. They do draft well. I mean, they drafted Micah Parsons. They drafted CeeDee Lamb. And now, look, the money that they saved from Parsons, they went and gave to Deron Bland. I don't know if I would have done that per se. I also think that was a little bit of a spite extension and to spite Micah just a little bit, because I find it funny that it came about 2 days later. But still, either way. Do we remember Deron Bland 2 years ago? Guy had like 5 pick sixes in the freaking 2023. He had 9 picks that year. I honestly think he's their best corner. I think he's better than Diggs.
I think he's more consistent than Diggs, yeah.
Now, how do those 2 look with a pass rush that's not going to be as consistent early on, at least? Because regardless, Ezeraku's still a rookie. Sam Williams coming back from an injury. Defensive tackles. I think Zoo was an interior pass rusher, but Mozzie Smith, again, I think stinks. I don't think he's that good. But Kenny Clark, it was a down year last year, and he's approaching 30. So we have to see. But now we're going to see, are Bland and Diggs good corners? Or are they great corners? Good corners you can mask with a pass rush. We made James Bradbury look like a Pro Bowler here when we had 78,000 sacks. But that's what separates that team, that Eagles team, from this past year. Because last year you had quarterbacks that was bona fide. The best I've seen. This was the best secondary that anybody has seen since the 2013 Seahawks. With Slay and freaking Mitchell and DeJean and Blankenship and Gardner Johnson. That was the best secondary I have seen on a football team since them and the no-fly zone Broncos. Well, as Dustin was saying, Jerry does draft well. He drafted Micah Parsons. They draft offensive linemen. It's ridiculous how good they do at drafting offensive linemen. Like I said, I didn't think the Tyler Booker pick was bad. I just thought it was a little too high I thought he would have gone later teens, early 20s. Dallas wants to build the interior offensive line, and they got the best one to do it. So,
It's not
like
always
I said,
about where a guy should be drafted. I mean, if you know a guy that you want is not going to make it to your next pick, you got to pull the trigger on it.
you can make the case there with the Eagles with Andrew Makuba. There are people saying that the Eagles drafted him too high, but
Yeah.
if he's not going to be there at their next pick, if Fangio liked them, then what Fangio wants, Fangio gets. I don't care what anyone says. What Fangio wants, he gets. Real quickly, just to catch up on some comments here, Mike asked very early on in the show, is Parsons that good?
What's
In
up?
terms of, yeah, first of all, what's up, Mike? Yeah, I mean, Mike, he's one of the best pass rushers in the game. Now, postseason-wise, that's another story. Mike has not been known to be a postseason performer.
Hasn't had much chance to try, also.
Well, that is true. Mike, after Saturday, so do I. Mike, stop making jokes.
Maybe next year.
Please stop. And Anthony said, wasn't both of their corners injured? And Diggs said, yeah, Anthony. It's
Diggs is coming back off a big injury.
like I said, I think Bland's better. Trust me, I've seen Trayvon Diggs try to cover. It's not pretty all the time. And that's the point I'm getting at. Are they good because they had Micah rushing the quarterback, or are they actually like really good playmakers? So we're gonna find that out. But like I said, it's easy to go right off the bat and say, "Oh, the Packers won the trade hands down." Well, don't you kind of have to win something first for that to be considered a trade you won? And like Dustin said, we don't even know if Micah's playing on week 1. I mean, that epidural is going to basically be the ascension of can he play or not. And I mean, that's not really the greatest start of the tenure for Micah Parsons in Green Bay if he can't play right away. But
Terrible start.
And you have a guy in Matt LaFleur who's on the hot seat.
I feel like we've said that every year that LaFleur's been in Green Bay.
I mean, he's got 2 years left on his deal technically, but he made it to 3 straight NFC Championship games, got nowhere. He's pretty much been a one and done guy in the playoffs since getting to those NFC Championship games. And if he doesn't have a contract extension in the works by the end of this season, I don't see the Packers having him going into a lame duck season. Because what NFL team, for the most part, ever has a coach head into the season on a lame duck year? You usually have an extension that is given to that coach right before the end of the season or right when the season is over before the actual offseason starts. And if they don't have that contract in place, 9 out of 10 times that coach is not around by the time the NFL draft starts.
That is true. So I figured while I was looking around here, I look at Dallas's roster. First off, Tyler, were you aware that we lost Trevor Keegan to the Cowboys?
Well, Trevor Keegan got waived.
Yeah, now he's a Cowboy.
And now he's a Cowboy.
I
knew he wasn't going to make. He wasn't going to make it on the practice squad. I knew a team was going to get him.
Anyway, but looking at Dallas's defensive line now that Micah is gone, Kenny Clark, Donovan Ezaraku, they did re-sign Dante Fowler, who last year for the Commanders, he had 10.5 sacks. They also signed James Houston, who a couple years ago in Detroit had 8 sacks, and they thought that he was actually going to be a really talented player. Then stuff happened. They have Marshawn Nealon, who is their second-round pick from 2024. He's back this year, hopefully. He got hurt last year. So, I mean, Sam Williams, another guy, didn't play last year because of injury, but the year prior played in 17 games, had 4.5 sacks. The year prior to that, he had 4 sacks in 15 games. So, These are the guys, and he's only 26 still. These are the guys that they are going to have to rely on to try to fill out some of that production left behind from Micah. Because regardless of what we are saying, Micah Parsons was easily one of the Cowboys' best player.
I feel he was definitely the energizer to their defense. Like he
He was the only. So, and like we said, for the Packers' point of view, you're getting what exactly you didn't have last year. Do we remember the Eagles playoff game? The first play in the freaking red zone, Jalen Hurts had what, 7-8 seconds just standing in the pocket? It took them so long to get to him that Jahan Dotson got open. And he's the one that caught the touchdown. So for them to get an elite pass rusher like Micah Parsons to add to a defense that has a lot of solid players. They have Rashawn Gary. They have Luke Van Ness. They just dipped into the NFC East last year and took Xavier McKinney from the Giants. He led the league in interceptions last year. Now, how is their cornerback play going to turn out in all this? I don't know. But you know what helps when your cornerback room is lacking in the talent department? It helps if you can get after the quarterback. That will always be a secondary's best friend. Can you get after the quarterback?
Oh, yeah.
So I'm going to hang my hat on the part of the Packers look like they could win the trade early. We won't know Dallas's until whatever happens with those first round picks, which who knows? Like we said, maybe Jerry trades them for a proven player. Maybe they want to move up into the top 10 and pick twice. Or, you'll have those 2 draft picks plus your own that you'll be working with. What if Jerry gets I'm just going to throw this out there. Next year, you're going to have Aller and all them guys coming out. Then the year after, it's probably going to be Arch. What if Jerry gets tired of Dak? You'll have the draft ammunition.
Mm-hmm.
Because, that is ultimately the very first building block in why this Micah Parsons situation happened. And we said this. It happened as we were on our way home from freaking Penn State last year when Dak got the contract being the highest paid player in the NFL. I said, this will cost them somebody else down the road. And ultimately it did. Same thing with CD. Now, you got to pay CD Lamb. He's one of the premier wide receivers in football. But you waited for all those other wide receivers, including your division rivals, paying A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith beforehand. You waited till that market just kept getting reset and reset. You could have paid CD for probably $30 million cheaper in guaranteed money but you waited too long. So maybe if you got CD done early and you didn't pay Dak the ridiculous contract that, I'm sorry, call me an Eagles fan all you want. It has nothing to do with being an Eagles fan. Dak Prescott does not deserve to be a top 10 highest paid player in the league, better alone the highest paid player in NFL history. No. He has not done a damn thing in this league to deserve that. He has not been to a conference final. He has not been to a Super Bowl. He barely when he gets into the playoffs, it's usually a disaster. And the last time we saw Dak Prescott, Micah Parsons' new team, the Green Bay Packers, mollywopped them all over Jerry World, which, by the way, the Packers have more postseason wins in Jerry World than the Cowboys do. So,
wow, what is that?
That is where this whole thing started. It started with Dak. They could have easily paid Micah, but they decided to give Dak all that money. Dak doesn't need to be the highest paid player in the league, nor does he deserve to be the highest paid player in the league.
But then there's the issue of Dak Prescott being selfish and wanting all that money.
Mm-hmm.
And Jerry Jones, I said it before and I'll say it again. Jerry Jones didn't care if Dak Prescott was ever going to get them to a Super Bowl. He needed to make sure that he had a capable quarterback on his team to win them enough games to be relevant and to make him money.
Yeah. And unfortunately, that's about all he does is he makes you relevant. But Dak Prescott's not winning you anything in the next 4 to 5 years. And now, like we said, they have the other thing I'll say is they have financial flexibility now to do other things. They paid Deron Bland. I'm assuming somewhere down the road, if he plays well, they're going to look into a George Pickens extension. If he plays well this year, I believe, because I remember when Dallas acquired him and they basically said they're going to let him play out this year and see what happens, which, with the way George Pickens can be sometimes, I'm actually thinking there's a smarter decision the Cowboys have made. They paid Ferguson to be one of the, I think he's like 7th now in terms of NFL contracts. He's been one of Dak's most reliable weapons since they drafted him. So last year the production went down a little bit, but that was because Dak got hurt. The offensive line, it's getting stronger again. You know, they have Steele. Guyton hopefully takes a step in year 2. They drafted Booker. Hopefully that if that unit gets better, that they could be respectable. Because that one thing we've always known about the Cowboys, the offensive line is always loaded.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I like some of their draft picks from this year. We already talked about Booker. I love Ezeraku. I like Jaden Blue a lot. They do draft well. That's the one thing that Dusty, you said it very early on in the show. That's what the one thing they do. They freaking draft well. Regardless of our opinions on the Cowboys, they still draft good football players. They don't keep all of them, but they do draft well.
Yeah.
Hold on real quickly. Let me see where we're at with comments here. I know there's a few I haven't gotten to. Mike, that is an over-under of what is the spread for the Eagles Cowboys game?
A lot to a little.
A lot to a little. Real funny. 7.5. Yeah, I'm taking the over.
I'm going 17-point win.
Oh my goodness.
I'm going a 23-point win.
Oh my goodness. Ooh. Gentlemen, we're not at that point in the show yet. Holy crap. Anthony said, how did Jerry Jones know about Parsons' back? So that's why he didn't give him the bag. Yeah, well, I mean, it kind of was shown at that last preseason game.
Yeah.
Anthony, the Cleveland Browns have been tanking since existence.
We knew they were tanking this season before this season even became a thing. From last season, I knew that they were tanking this season. Joe Flacco is their starting quarterback. There's no doubt that they're tanking. They're not expecting to win games this year. They'll win a few, but they're not expecting any wins.
Absolutely not. And then Mike asked, how will the Cowboys fans be by 2026? Honestly, Mike, yeah. It's their year every year, right?
Yep. It's their year every year.
So, I mean, again, I guess to put the final emphasis on this trade is they're kind of you can't. It's hard because these, like, look at the Carson Wentz trade. The Eagles got assets that moved around so much, it ended up resulting in being involved in the Jalen Carter pick. So, like, it's hard for these trades to be like, oh, who won it 4 days later? Well, the team that got the 26-year-old pass rusher won it right now.
Yeah. Yeah, they made the team good to compete now, but in a few years.
So let me ask you, since, you and I we've been talking about the NFC North all season about being a loaded division. Not to mention our guest here is got an association with almost every NFC North team dating back for, 12 years. So where are the Packers at for you? Are they are they an NFC Championship game contender?
Ooh, that is quite a loaded question.
Because I mean, look, if anything, now Dustin just brought about Matt LaFleur. If anything, the pressure just got a little bit more intense for him and Jordan Love.
And he's hurt too, by the way.
Oh, what else is new?
Yeah, that doesn't shock me.
Because I mean, let's not remember something. This is not just the Micah Parsons trade.
Yeah.
In the past 2 off seasons, they went out and got you Josh Jacobs, Xavier McKinney. They beefed up the offensive line. I forget. They signed someone from the Niners to a big contract. I can't remember his freaking name. But they beefed up that offensive line, and now they went out and got you a 26-year-old pass rusher who is a 3-time All-Pro in 4 seasons, and just gave him a whole lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
So, like,
I think they're the favorites in the NFC North now. But outside of that, my opinion on the Packers stays the same unless they get home field. I don't think they go anywhere in the playoffs.
Oh, yeah, because here's the thing, right? Look at last year. Micah Parsons isn't going to save Jordan Love from throwing 4 picks at Lincoln Financial Field last year. He ain't going to stop that from happening.
No.
He's not going to help them go to scoring more than 10 points in that game. That doesn't. Now, again, he helps. I'm not trying to say he doesn't. But the issues with the Packers still, yes, all right, one thing they have defensively that concerns me is corner. But again, when you have Rashawn Gary, Luke Van Ness, and Micah Parsons running at you, that will help. It also doesn't hurt if you attempt to throw the football over the middle of the field, because somewhere back there, Xavier McKinney is waiting for the football to come to him. Edgerrin Cooper last year is going to be one of the best young linebackers in football, and I'm pissed off he's not an Eagle, but I still got Jahad Campbell, so I'm not too upset. But watching his 2024 tape, I loved Edgerrin Cooper. So they've got players on that defense. They have taken the middle of the field away with Cooper, McKinney. They've got the edge rushers now. It's going to be they've done a good job with that. But now with all that, with the addition to the offensive line, with the addition of Josh Jacobs last year. Oh, by the way, also, they did draft Matthew Golden, who I still think is going to be a very good wide receiver. I don't know.
Don't even say very good.
Okay, listen, okay? I understand where I'm just saying.
He might be the best receiver in the NFL in year 2.
Really?
I've seen some rookie receivers come in that are fast. Xavier Worthy comes to mind from last year. But the one thing that Xavier Worthy could not do is run a route. He's pretty much a straight line threat where you throw the ball as far as you can throw it and hope he catches it, or you throw him in the screen game and you just get blockers in front of him. Matthew Golden might be the best route runner that I have ever seen for a rookie. The routes that he has been doing to put Nate Hobbs on his ass in practice scares the absolute shit out of me. What happens if you can get this guy in open field?
Interesting to keep an eye on, because a lot of the Packers' offense this year hinges with Matthew Golden, because he's supposed to be the one to save their wide receiving group.
Mm-hmm.
Outside of him, there isn't much. You just got a bunch of guys.
Who's the number one Who was their number one target the last 2 years?
Was it Dobbs or was it?
It was Reed.
Reed. Jaden Reed has been option number 2 all training camp. Golden has been option number 1.
And that's how it should be.
It's how it should be, but I'm just saying, like, not a lot of people thought like Golden was just going to be like a straight line thread and just kind of a guy that you could get in the open space on like a quick slant. He is by far the best route runner on that team. And that is scary to think about because he is a rookie.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it drops everything into place. If Golden is the wide receiver 1, and I'm saying if because we have not seen him play yet, then Reed goes to the 2. Then you have Wicks and Dobbs kind of in that 3-4 role. And then you also don't forget about Tucker Kraft, who I believe, in my top 10 tight ends list. And then, of course, you have Josh Jacobs. That offense, if Matthew Golden hits, as a draft pick, that offense is going to look damn good.
And if Jordan Love is reliable as far as not turning the ball over.
Yeah.
But
And it was Aaron.
I think
Go ahead.
all in all, the Packers, I think they're going to be competing for top of the division, if not second best. Because the Lions still have a big question mark with how is Dan Campbell going to respond with losing both of his coordinators?
Both of his coordinators. He lost half his damn coaching staff.
Yeah, half the coaching staff.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, by the way, it was Aaron Banks who they signed from the Niners.
Aaron Banks, okay.
Hefty contract, too. A lot of money. So this is going to come down to Matt LaFleur and Jordan Love. Defensively, they got better each week last year. They even played well in the game against Philly. I mean, we only scored 22 points in that game.
Yeah.
But again, when your quarterback's turning the football over 3-4 times, you're not going to win.
And the funny thing is, the 4 games where their defense played the worst came against the Vikings and the Lions.
Yeah. And even the week 1 in Brazil, neither the Eagles or Packers defense played well on that crappy field. Chargers, Chiefs, good luck on Friday.
They got a new field. They'll be fine.
The Chiefs get the new field. Okay.
No, the soccer team got the new field because they were complaining how ripped up it was when they had their next game.
Man.
So the soccer team got the new field.
Good for them. They'll be hearing from our freaking lawyers for all the slipping we did last year. But all no, I think we're all kind of in agreement when it comes to this trade that it's right off the bat you want to say Packers, but again, it's been 3 days and we have no idea what those draft picks will turn into. And like I said, what if Jerry doesn't want to talk about gets sick and tired of Dak in a year or two? What if they package some picks together and I don't want to say it, but what if there's another Manning in the NFC East again one day?
Please stop.
Just saying. I will.
Let me be a Brown, okay? He can lead the Browns into the golden era.
Of what?
Of something.
Let me just say this. If the Cowboys do what I'm saying, but they take a certain quarterback from my team, I may cry myself to sleep. Because Drew Howard does not deserve to be a Dallas Cowboy. Drew Howard does not deserve to be a Cleveland Brown either. Speaking of quarterbacks, gentlemen, I think it's time to finally wrap up the top 10 lists. So, to get prepared for the season, everyone knows we've been doing top 10 lists over the past several weeks. We were doing defenses, running backs, wide receiver duos. Quarterbacks, of course, was the one we decided to save best for last. And now we're going to get into that right now. So, gentlemen, Tyler, I'm assuming we're doing what we've been doing for the past several weeks. We'll all just start at 10, go around the room, and then we'll just keep going like that, right?
Oh, yeah.
All right, gentlemen. So we'll start off at our number 10s. Who would like to go first? Don't all jump at once.
I'll kick us off. At my number 10, I have second-year quarterback Bo Nix. Did we start already, Sam? We already got him out?
All right, everyone. Have a great rest of your night.
So, Bo Nix, honestly, last year as a rookie, I wasn't that high on him. He outperformed my expectations for him. He played extremely well, 3,775 yards, 29 touchdowns, passing touchdowns, and 12 interceptions. Not bad for a rookie. I expect his completion percentage to go up in year 2. I expect his turnovers to go down a little bit in year 2. And not to mention, he's got a pretty solid offense rounded out as far as his offensive line, wide receivers. They made sure they got Cortland Sutton locked in. They brought in Evan Ingram, who's had a great career rejuvenation with the Jaguars. And then
Who would ever thought that would be a thing?
you brought in Mr. 10 games a year, J.K. Dobbins.
And don't forget, they also drafted R.J. Harvey.
Yes, who they are going to need when Dobbins gets hurt.
Yeah, thanks for drafting him late yesterday, by the way.
I drafted Dobbins late?
No, you drafted Harvey. Thank you very much.
Harvey. Wait. No, you got the wrong person. I didn't take Harvey.
Okay, well, whoever did, thank you very much. I thought it was you.
It was not me. But yeah, I stayed away from Dobbins. Trust me. Couldn't do it. Never played a full season in his career. Nope.
J.K. Dobbs.
When he's healthy, he's a beast. No doubt. But yeah, definitely Bo Nix, big expectations coming into year 2.
You know, before Dustin and I go real quick, I just wanted to say that I had a whole speech prepared for my number 10. And you just ruined every single part of it. Because, Bo Nix is actually the example of what we just said a minute ago about a team liking a player. Because if I don't recall, there were people laughing at the Denver Broncos because they drafted Bo Nix. But I believe it was you said, this is Sean Payton we're talking about here. Do not doubt Sean Payton and what he can do with a quarterback. And in the second half of last year, we saw what he could do with a quarterback. Bo Nix he was probably one of the best quarterbacks in football in the second half of last season. And you said it, the numbers are there. And I think, and what I like, they kept the group together. They kept Sutton locked up. They brought in Evan Ingram. They didn't get a lot of good play out of the tight end position last year. They did need an upgrade at some point there. Wide receivers, though, Marvin Mims, pretty solid. The kid Franklin, who was with him at Oregon, pretty solid. They're all going to go into another year together. And they're going to have an elite defense, and that's always an offense's best friend if a defense can put you in good field positioning. And they, again, like we said, they J.K. Dobbins, for those first 10 games, that dude may rush for 700 yards. R.J. Harvey will come in the last 7, rush for 600. Bam, there's your 1,000-yard rushers. So, yeah. Well, Bo Nix was my number 10, so Dustin, you can go ahead.
F. Sean Payton, so I'm not giving Bo Nix any love, so he's staying out of my top.
Whoa, okay.
So he's staying out of my top 10 because of his head coach.
That's fine.
I can't stand Sean Payton. He stole a Super Bowl away from 2 teams, and I can't stand him because of it.
Yes, let me try something.
No worries there.
Well, my top 10 is from a quarterback who actually hasn't played an NFL snap yet. And he was a quarterback that I was very high on entering the draft that not a lot of people were very high on. And I think he will be taking over by week 5, and Jackson Dart is my number 10.
So
Jackson Dart is the exact quarterback that Brian Dable has been waiting for since he left Josh Allen. 6'5", Josh Allen is 6'6". Josh Allen weighs 244. Jackson Dart is 242. They both run, they both throw, and they both have a cannon. He can finally design his offense around his quarterback that he has not had since getting to New York.
I will say I liked what I saw out of Dart in the preseason. Loved how he played coming out of college. What worries me, though, is with them bringing in Russell Wilson, do I think Dart could have some more magical plays throughout a season than Russell Wilson? Yeah, I think so. I'm just unless if they really struggle and Wilson really struggles, I'm having a hard time seeing them putting in Dart in year one. Because I don't honestly see Wilson struggling enough like Daniel Jones struggled.
No, he won't. But I see Russell Wilson being traded. A team that has either has an injured quarterback, or it's going to be similar to like when I can't remember the team, but there was a team maybe like 7 or 8 years ago that had a rookie quarterback, and they traded their starter just for the rookie quarterback. Oh, Chicago Bears. They had Mike Glennon and Mitch Trubisky. Mike Glennon came into the season as the starter, signed that massive deal, played 5 weeks, got hurt in week 6. Trubisky stepped in. The next week, Glennon was traded.
And then why don't we go back a few more years before that? Minnesota, Teddy Bridgewater gets hurt. Sam Bradford's supposed to be the starter in Philly. Philly flips Bradford for a first rounder. Carson Wentz the starter.
Yep. I think it could be a similar situation on that.
Eagles don't win that Super Bowl if they don't pull that Bradford trade off, because then Wentz never gets the rookie kinks out the year before.
Mm-hmm.
For people here that think that we hate Carson Wentz, we do not hate Carson Wentz. We know why we won a Super Bowl.
He's in Minnesota. I love it.
Oh my God, he is in Minnesota. I forgot.
I love it.
Look, I know JJ's the starter, but heaven forbid if something were to happen, and if there's someone that can maybe save Carson
Heaven
Wentz.
forbid he's got a veteran backup. Your backup before was either Sam Howell or Brett Rippon. Now you have a veteran backup that can teach McCarthy some stuff. I love it.
Hey, what was wrong with Sam Howell? He ripped the Eagles up with 1 million slants for 2 games in 2023.
What was wrong with Sam Howell was a 41% completion percentage in the preseason with 4 turnovers.
That sounds like him.
That's what was wrong with Sam Howell. You can have him in Philadelphia. Have fun with him.
Hey, he's our 3rd string. I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
And trust me, he couldn't have been worse than Dorian Thompson-Robinson and Kyle McCord.
Nope.
All right, Tyler, do you want to start off number 9, or do you want to change it up?
I'll kick it off. At number 9, I have Jared Goff.
Oh, thank God you didn't freaking do it again.
Jared Goff had probably the best year of his career last year. I mean, talent-wise, yeah, they lost a few pieces on the offensive line, but they have all the weapons there still. Now, I didn't think that, him losing out on Ben Johnson as the offensive coordinator, I didn't think it was fair enough for me to think, okay, Jared Goff's just going to suck next year. Yes, Jared Goff in the playoffs, that's a totally different conversation. Don't trust him at all there. But throughout the course of the regular season, I mean, he shows up and he shows out. And I think he's going to do the same thing this year.
It's a shame we didn't have a top 11. Then Jared Goff would have been on my list. I just think that the losses, because here's the thing. I think you just said it. Playoffs. He struggled in the playoffs with Ben Johnson. What the heck am I supposed to expect with him in a regular season and the playoffs without Ben Johnson? So, like I said, we had 11 spots. He's right there. But my number 9, I'm going to Florida. And I'm going at number 9, Baker Mayfield.
How dare you disrespect him and put him that low?
Look. I like my list outside. Look, my number 9 and 8 could have been interchanged, but I'm going with Baker at number 9. I think Baker has had a career. You talk about a career resurgence just getting down to Tampa. Oh, yeah. I mean, the guy had 28 touchdowns and 10 picks 2 years ago. How does he respond with it? 4,000 passing yards, 40-plus touchdowns. Now, the picks went up by a few, too, so little concern, a little issue sometimes with the ball, with taking care of the football, but Baker Mayfield's been a big reason why the Bucs have had a really decent run since Brady left. Remember, we all thought, Brady's leave it, it's over. But, I mean, the guy's got wide receivers forever. I mean, now, Godwin, he's probably out for the first month at least. McMillan's going to be out a while with a neck injury. They still got Mike Evans. They still got Ibuka. They still got Cade Otton. They still got Bucky Irving. I like Baker Mayfield still. He's not the most talented quarterback in the world, but the guy just plays. The guy's a baller.
Yeah.
I will take that guy on my team any day of the week.
You know what team that would really like to have Baker Mayfield?
Don't do it. Don't you do that to Clint. Don't you do that to Clint.
Cleveland would love to have Baker Mayfield right now.
The Browns.
And Dustin, you freaking did it. You guys are the worst.
Who gave Cleveland their only playoff win since the merger since 2000? Baker Mayfield. Who almost beat Kansas City Chiefs the year they won their first Super Bowl? Baker Mayfield. Had he not hurt his ankle, they probably do beat the Kansas City Chiefs. But how do you reward the guy? Oh, we're not going to pay you. Have fun going somewhere else. We'll send you to Carolina to die. Well, guess what? I just signed with Tampa, and now you look stupid.
Yep. Hey, I'm convinced Carolina is that team where you go to, and then the next team you're on, you're having a career resurgence.
Mm-hmm.
Well, hold on. Don't forget, he went to the Rams for a few weeks before
That is
Carolina.
True.
Yep.
He got to sit on the Rams for a few weeks. Maybe learn a little bit
got to learn
McVay and Stafford.
I was saying the guy got to learn from McVay for a month and then went to freaking Tampa and he's had a career resurgence. But also, real quick, I do want to respond real quick before I let Dustin go to Clint's comment. I understand that Goff's defense was depleted, but when you know your defense is that depleted, you can't turn the football over 4 times in a playoff game.
Yeah. No, you can't.
But then I'm still not even talking about I know he doesn't perform well in the playoffs.
He got the Rams to the Super Bowl.
He did.
I mean, the NFC Championship game the year the Rams went to the Super Bowl was probably the best playoff game he's ever had. He did put the Rams on the back in the NFC title game that year to get him to the Super Bowl. Then he got to the Super Bowl and put the crap.
Yeah, I'd say Todd Gurley is my pick for who actually carried that team into the Super Bowl. I get Goff. He played a good game, but
okay, can we just guys? The real MVP of that game was Nickel Roby-Coleman for knocking out a Saints wide receiver. That's who the real player of the game was. That one
got everything they deserved. Kiss my ass, New Orleans.
That is also true. I can't stand the Saints.
You want to cheat to win a Super Bowl? You didn't deserve never to win again.
Enjoy Spencer Rattler, guys. But all right, Dustin, who do you got at number 9?
So my number 9 is Josh Dobbs. No, just kidding. My number 9 is Jaden Daniels.
Josh Dobbs.
Jaden Daniels.
He scared the crap out of me for a second.
No, I got Jaden Daniels number 9. Just watching what he did as a rookie when there were so many questions about his size and how he was going to be able to last in the NFL, knowing how small of a frame he had. And not only did he prove the doubters wrong by taking the hits that he took early in the season and stayed healthy, but he had one of the better rookie seasons that we've seen in the last decade. And now you give him another weapon in Deebo Samuel. You just re-signed Terry McLaurin. You have Austin Eckler back. You still have Brian Robinson, and they upgraded their offensive line. Jaden Daniels, whether he goes through a sophomore slump or not, which we don't know which quarterback that's going to happen to, because you know it's going to happen to one of the quarterbacks. That happens every year where one of these good rookie quarterbacks goes through a sophomore slump. You saw it with C.J. Stroud last year. Whether or not Jaden Daniels goes through a sophomore slump or not, I still think he's a top 10 quarterback just because of what he proved as a rookie and what he has in front of him the next few years.
I don't disagree. Just taking it also, Dustin, they do not have Brian Robinson anymore. They traded him.
Who did he go to?
The Niners.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay, well, they still have Eckler. And Eckler is – and they drafted that – did they draft Amari and Hampton? I think
no,
he's who did they draft?
He's with
they drafted what's that kid's name?
They drafted a running back, which is why they traded Robinson. He was a good running back.
Really high on him. What's his name?
I'm on it.
He's got like a 2-part last name. Hold up. I'm blanking.
It's Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt.
Yeah.
I thought they drafted another one too.
No, they still got the same guys from last year. McNichols, Chris Rodriguez. But Krosky-Merritt and Austin Eckler, they're going to be the 1-2.
Yeah.
1-2 duo. McNichols wasn't terrible. He'll probably get some carries.
No, getting that Krosky-Merritt is why they traded Brian Robinson, because Robinson was set to hit free agency after this year anyways.
Mm-hmm.
So now they don't have to worry about paying him, and they have a guy that's going to be on a rookie deal for 4 years.
Yep.
So now they have that all set in stone.
All right, so now we're going to number 8. Tyler, you want to continue it, or do you want me to
Number
go?
8, I got Kyler Murray.
Gross.
Ooh.
Hey, now let me tell you
There
why.
has not been a new Call of Duty out for the last 6 years. He's not going to
Hey,
do well.
and
until
guess what?
after-
Hey, Call of Duty's getting real terrible too, so he's not going to be distracted. So this fits right into how I'm planning this to go.
Yes, because
Hold on.
he's playing Fortnite now.
He played his first full season since his rookie and sophomore year in the league. He's finally seems like he's come back from that injury that seemed to just plague him for so long. He got a chance to get the mental toughness back. And I think coming into this year, a year or two with Harrison Jr., having Trey McBride, I think there's a lot of plus sides going on with the Cardinals. And I think that he's going to be poised to have a pretty big year. I mean, last year, 3,851 yards, almost a 69% completion percentage, 21 passing touchdowns, 11 interceptions. The interception number, yeah, it can come down a little bit. Hopefully it does. And then he also had 5 rushing touchdowns and 572 yards rushing as well. So I like the upside of Kyler Murray coming into this year.
First off, Clint said Kyler about Call of Duty. Now, if Call of Duty's that bad and Kyler starts worrying about football, we're good. But if he gets introduced to Battlefield, then we're screwed.
Oh, yeah. If he decides to try out the new Battlefield, yeah, it's over. He's going to be like top 20.
The Cardinals will be tanking for Arch. All right. My number 8. I got 2 warnings for my top 10 list. And here's the first warning. This is the last time that I'm giving this guy any credit. And he will be off my top 10 list next year if he pulls off his crap again. I am still riding with the talent. I am still riding with my guy. I still love the guy as a quarterback. I can't stand him in the playoffs. I'm still going to give him one last shot. Number 8, I'm going Justin Herbert.
I have the same one, so I won't get into too much detail on that. I have Herbert at 8.
The numbers were down last year, but you know what? The turnovers, until they reached the postseason, were also down. They adapted to a run-first offense, which, by the way, now that Rashawn Slater's out for the year, they're going to run more. They signed Najee Harris. They drafted Amari and Hampton. Now, they did draft Harris out of Ole Miss. They do still have Lad McConkey. And they did re-sign Old Reliable, except for his hamstrings, Keenan Allen.
That's the story of all wide receivers in the NFL today. So, Keenan Allen just was a trailblazer for the hamstring injury.
Everything you want in a quarterback: size, arm talent, accuracy, everything you want in a quarterback, Justin Herbert has.
Playoff performance. Oh wait.
And then he becomes more of a midget than Kyler Murray.
Yeah.
That's the problem with Justin Herbert.
You know why
If
I
he
had to
does
leave
this,
Herbert out? Because how do you hold on, let me pull it up so I make sure I get this right.
I'm kind of on Sam's side on this too with Herbert.
How do you only throw 3 interceptions through the regular season and you threw more interceptions in the playoffs?
Because his offensive line decided not to show up. He was running backwards more than he was standing upright. And to his credit, he didn't have Keenan Allen last year, a guy that he's been throwing to for 4 years. Yeah. He didn't have Mike Williams, a guy that he was throwing to for 4 years. He had no legitimate receivers last year.
Yeah, I didn't like that they
and still put up one of the best seasons of his career with really no wide receiving options last year.
Yeah,
that's why if you would have asked me this question last year, I probably would have had Herbert number 10 or even out of the top 10. He actually went higher on my list because he was able to put up the year he had with a lot less talent than he's had in the past.
Yeah, and I mean, look, the guy is still super talented, but if we get to the postseason this year, and it's a big if because their division is a lot trickier now. You got the Chiefs, Raiders are rebuilding, Broncos are going to be good. You're not fighting for second now. You're fighting for the whole division.
Yeah.
So if you get back in the playoffs and you pull this crap again, I will never put this man on my top 10 list again.
I had to pull him out this year. I'm hoping everything works out better. I mean, also, them losing J.K. Dobbins late in the year didn't help their offense at all either. So I'm hoping, with a more reliable running back room, hopefully he can have a consistent season and not struggle.
Clint, how in the world did you just bring up Kenny Golladay on this show?
Man, dude was a beast in fantasy for like 2 years when he wasn't hurt.
Then he went to the Giants.
Yeah.
All right, so I kind of stole Dustin's number 8, so now let's move into our number 7, Tyler. Where do you go here?
Where do I go? Good old Bakerville. Got Baker Mayfield. Now, you touched on a lot of points, except for you didn't say his exact passing total. 4,500 passing yards. Almost 8 yards per pass. 71% completion percentage, the highest of his career. By far.
Ridiculous.
By far. Yes, 16 interceptions. I don't think we're going to see a number close to that again. Maybe we might see like 10. But if he's passing for over 40 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, it shouldn't be much of an issue.
Especially when he had 6 interceptions his first 7 games.
Yeah, he definitely got it under control. And they were rolling after that. And now you got year 2, Bucky Irving. You'll get Godwin back at some point. Still got Mike Evans, Mr. 1,000 yards. Cade Otton. And you got the kid Egbuka out of Ohio State. So I think they're gonna be chilling.
Clint, did you just call Golladay Babytron?
Oh my god. He did.
Damn it.
No.
Zol would be so upset right now.
He did.
All right. Moving into my number 7, I'm going to go into the NFC East here, and I'm going to go with Dak Prescott. No, I'm just kidding.
I was going to say, what are you on?
Well, I wasn't lying about the NFC.
That's not what I see. I saw his list today. He has Dak Prescott at number 5, actually.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, my gosh.
My number 7, I have Jaden Daniels. How do you not have him? How do you not have? I mean, look, he played like a top 10 quarterback. We saw it from the moment he went into Cincinnati and outplayed and beat Joe Burrow. From that week on, you knew it was special. And that was the definition of a quarterback carrying a team to an NFC Championship game last year. Now, the reason he's only at 7, it's mostly just because of the resume or the lack thereof. It's 1 year. When you start getting some more, if he gives me 2 more of years like last year over the next 2, he's probably in my top 5. And also, outside of re-signing Terry McLaurin, I know the running back they really like. I'm not crazy about the weapons. Eckler's getting older. Ertz is getting older. I am not a Deebo Samuel guy, and George can get mad at me all he wants. I can't stand Deebo Samuel.
Number 1.
He's barely a 2.
You put Deebo Samuel with Cliff Kingsbury, though. That's the key, because Cliff Kingsbury is actually going to use him the right way because he actually has an offensive mind that knows what he's doing.
Well, real quickly, Clint, that's because Lions fans still haven't gotten over Megatron retiring. All these years later. But yeah, so like I said, my biggest thing with Jaden Daniels, all right, but I will say the offensive line is going to be better. They drafted Connolly out of Oregon. They got Laramie Tunsil. That could be you probably have your tackles for the next couple of years at least. So, like I said, it's a resume thing. He's only got 1 year under his belt. So keep going into do what he's doing. He'll be up my list way farther next year. But I got Jade at number 7.
I have a kind of a surprising one at number 7, but at the same time not, because he's going to be a Hall of Famer when it's all said and done. I got Matthew Stafford at 7.
Okay.
I mean, you love him or hate him, whatever you want to say. The amount of punishment that this guy's taken over his career from the bad offensive lines that he's had into Detroit and dealing with another back injury, and yet he consistently puts up 4,000 yards. He consistently throws for 30-plus touchdowns. For the most part, he takes care of the football. And for all the crap that he got for not winning a playoff game in Detroit, granted he only made it twice because the Lions were terrible, the one opportunity that he had to win in the playoffs, he delivered. And he showed exactly why during the Rams Super Bowl run, why he was the number 1 pick 15 years ago. Stafford is still an elite quarterback in this league. And now that you give him Devontae Adams and pair him with Puka Nacua, he's going to have probably the best season he's had in probably his last 3 or 4 years.
Yeah. I mean, it was funny. I was watching a video earlier. They were asking, I forget, it was just as random people I found on Facebook. They were asking this guy who's going into the Hall of Fame. He said no to Matthew Stafford, but he said yes to Matt freaking Ryan.
Okay, bud.
What universe am I in that Matt Ryan is a Hall of Famer over Matthew Stafford?
Ridiculous.
Oh no, but like Dustin said, I mean, and I'm gonna say this now. We're heading to number 6. You could skip me because that's my number 6 is Matthew Stafford.
Okay.
And everything that Dustin has said is spot on. The guy literally battered, beaten, and bruised, and the guy still finds a way to get through a season healthy, plays his ass off every week, and now again, you're pairing him with Devontae Adams and Puka Nacua.
And unlike Barry Sanders and like Kelvin Johnson and like all these other players that retired early in Detroit or demanded to be traded from Detroit because Detroit sucked, Matthew Stafford never once asked out of Detroit until he got to that final year of his contract, and Detroit wasn't 100% sure if they were going to stick with him. He's like, well, if you can't guarantee me that I'm going to be here after this year, then trade me somewhere else. And then that's how they made the Jared Goff to Matthew Stafford trade.
Which is still one of the most even trades I've ever seen.
Yeah, because they got Jared Goff basically on a 1-year rental. He proved that he still could play, so then they said, fine, we'll sign you to a 5-year extension. Stafford goes to Los Angeles, shows what he can do when he's got a competent offensive line in front of him. So the Rams are like, okay, yeah, you can still play for another 4 or 5 years. Here you go.
Yep. And then the Lions built their offensive line after they finally traded him.
Because they knew they had to, because they couldn't afford to have Jared Goff take the beating that Stafford took, because Goff ain't getting up from him.
Yep.
All right, we want to move into number 6?
Yep.
You said you're skipping 6 because...
Yeah, I'm skipping 6 because that's my Stafford.
Okay.
So my number 6, I got Jaden Daniels. You just touched on this not too long ago. Incredible rookie year, incredibly talented with Cliff Kingsbury as the OC. I mean, the offensive playmaking of the whole team is just unlimited. I'm not worried about Deebo Samuels. I've had my criticisms about Deebo in the past. Can he still play football? Yeah. He's not asked to be a number 1 wide receiver. That's Terry McLaurin. Now, Jaden Daniels probably wouldn't have made it into my top 10, or maybe not as high, if they did ultimately trade away McLaurin. I feel like that would have been a huge blow for them. But they still have a really solid offense. You know, they have an offensive identity. At running back, they know who they're going with. They're high on that rookie. You got the veteran Austin Eckler. When Eckler's healthy, he can perform. He can deliver. Offensive line's really solid. I mean, not many weak points on it at all.
You need to dust.
Jaden Daniels, I don't think he's going to have a sophomore slump. I think he's going to pick up right where he left off.
So my 5 and 6, I kind of flip flopped for the last 2 days because I had a debate for both of them, and I'm just gonna go with my heart on it just because it's the way the team plays more so than the way he plays. But I got Jalen Hurts at number 6, and the only reason why I say that is if Saquon was not on that team, Jalen Hurts would be higher. But once they got Saquon, Jalen Hurts' passing numbers dropped way down. He had 2,800 or 2,900 last year. Normally, if you have a quarterback throwing for 2,900 yards, you're not going to win too many games. It's not going to happen. It's just the fact that you had Saquon Barkley playing at the level he played at. You didn't need Jalen Hurts to throw for 35-plus 100 yards. But the thing with Philadelphia, too, is you don't want Jalen Hurts to throw a lot because the more throws he has, the more prone he is to turn the football over. And that's ultimately what did him in his second year as a starter because they tried to throw the ball 35 times a game and he started to turn the ball over. And like, yeah, no, we can't do that. You need to be around 25 throws and just kind of play to your strengths, which is the running ability that he has and just everything that the Eagles offense has been designed around him. He's still a great quarterback, but it's just the way that offense is built that kind of takes him out of that top 5.
While most of that is true and I agree with, the one thing I will say is 2022, he passed the ball a lot more and only had 6 interceptions. So it's kind of hit or miss.
Yeah.
With Jalen Hurts.
And that's another reason why I took him out of the top 5.
If he's going to turn it over.
The other thing that I take into a 2023 compared to last year and 2022, 3 names. Kellen Moore, Shane Steichen, and that godforsaken idiot Brian Johnson. Because here's the thing. As much as I agree with Dustin, Jalen's numbers were down last year because of having Saquon Barkley. But Stephen A. Smith just said this, and coming into, depending on what happens this year, your resume has to start counting for something.
Yeah.
Regardless of numbers.
Mm-hmm.
Lamar Jackson throws 40 touchdowns back-to-back years. He still can't do crap in the playoffs. Josh Allen was the MVP of the league. Still can't beat Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs.
Let's just not say that.
Trust me.
It's the Kansas City Chiefs that they can't beat. Josh Allen can beat anybody else in the playoffs. Lamar Jackson can beat anybody else in the playoffs. The only team that can beat Kansas City in the playoffs is Cincinnati. There ain't another team in the AFC that's going to stop the Chiefs until Mahomes retires.
Yeah, essentially. But, and back to my point with Jalen, in the 2 most important games of the year,
he showed up.
He played his best game. Steve Spagnuolo's sole mission, I don't want to hear him say a word like, oh, yeah, we had a game plan for AJ. We had a game plan for Devon. He had one game plan the entire Super Bowl. I am not letting 26 run all over me. And guess what happened? 26 didn't run all over you. But number 1 sure as hell did. And he ran it over you. He threw it through you, and he dominated. In the 2 most important games of his career, he played his best football. And another thing, like I just said, I understand in 2023 we were prone to turnovers. The Eagles also had to throw the football a ton more in 2023 because they had literally the worst defense in the NFL. We gave the defense a lead in Seattle with 58 seconds to go, and Jackson Smith-Njigba needed 3 catches over James Bradbury to win that game. They were the worst coached teams in 2023. If it wasn't freaking Sean Desai and, oh, God, Matt Patricia coaching that defense, it was Brian Johnson and his idiotic offense. Because here's the thing that we forget. As great as Saquon was last year, DeAndre Swift was having a pretty good year in Philadelphia to where he was named a Pro Bowler. But Brian Johnson, for some reason, just wanted to throw the football every play, including throwing bubble screens to Julio Jones, who was about 106 years old, on 3rd and 29. So as much as, and I agree, I was tough on Jalen in 2023. I was tough on Jalen in the beginning of last year because I was seeing it again for 2023. It's all I said last year. If Jalen doesn't turn the football over, this team is going to go far. And ultimately, what happened after the bye week? He stopped turning the football over. Saquon went absolutely hair on fire nuts, and they won the Super Bowl. Not to mention Vic Fangio coached one of the best defenses in the modern day era. But as long as I think Jalen's going to be fine this year. I think it's going to be just almost. I don't think Kevin Patullo is as bad of an OC that he can't be much worse than Brian Johnson was.
Yeah, I can't envision things getting back to as bad as Brian Johnson in that 2023 year.
And if he does, then that's fine. Steichen's going to get fired anyway. He'll come back.
Yeah. And that year, he was asked to throw the ball an absurd amount. Now, when you break down his numbers a little more, I mean, he averaged 8 yards per throw last year. So when he was asked to actually throw the ball, he did it at a high rate. Almost 69% completion percentage. Only 5 interceptions. I mean, he just performed. And that's not even taking into consideration his postseason performance.
Yeah. So are we into the top five?
Top 5 now, yeah.
We are in top 5. It's getting juicy.
Really?
Well, you might as well disqualify my top 5 because that Jalen Hurts is my number 5.
Oh, nice. All right. So my number 5 is, I'm waiting to see if everyone's shocked, Patrick Mahomes. Is anyone shocked to see him this low?
Yeah.
So I had to make an adjustment. I had Patrick Mahomes a little bit higher. Then I heard that Rashee Rice was going to be suspended 6 games to start the season. I am getting the flashbacks of last year to where their defense made them look like the dominant Chiefs teams that we've seen in the past rather than the offense making them look like the dominant Chiefs teams of the past. Travis Kelce, we got to see what he can come out and do this year. Did not have a good year last year.
He's engaged. He'll be fine.
We'll see. We'll see, man. Yeah, the pressure might get to him. You know, he's joining in a whole new world now. But I just don't trust it. I mean, they are getting Isaiah Pacheco healthy now.
That's the key.
So that's going to help them a lot.
And having Kareem Hunt back.
Kareem Hunt, yeah, definitely a solid backup running back. But I'm still worried about their dominance because of the lack of talent at wide receiver. Now, Xavier Worthy, I'm hoping he's more comfortable in the offense and he has a better year too. He didn't really do a whole lot last year. You know, we thought we were going to see him, you know, make these Tyreek Hill plays, this, that, and the other. But never really saw it happen. Hollywood Brown, my opinion, stinks. Juju Smith-Schuster, just a journeyman at this point. I'm not going to go as far as saying he stinks.
He shows up in the playoffs, though.
He's been a valuable asset to the teams he's been on. He's just not a great player. So it's a lot of the pieces around Patrick Mahomes that worry me about him being limited in what he can do. And I get it. He's such a great quarterback. He can make, oh my gosh, I forgot his name. Not surprising. Who was the bum that the Giants drafted and then he went to the Chiefs and then he
Kadarius Toney.
Kadarius Toney, there it is. Yeah, I'm never gonna remember that name. He's irrelevant. But yeah, he made Kadarius Toney kind of look like a decent wide receiver. And then we saw him start dropping the ball again, and we were like, yep, never mind. So that's the reason I got Patrick Mahomes at number 5. I still think Patrick Mahomes is, you know, in the top 3 conversation of best quarterbacks overall in the current NFL. But in terms of production heading into this year, I don't think he's going to be in the top 3.
Yeah, I forgot that the Chiefs also added Elijah Mitchell from the 49ers. He gives them another good running back. And they added Robert Tonyan as a backup tight end, which is going to be a very underrated pickup because he's a great red zone threat.
Not to mention they drafted the kid Simmons from Ohio State, and if he's healthy, he's easily the best offensive lineman in the draft.
Yep.
Yeah.
So my number 5, it might be shocking to have him as high as he is, but given the way he's played the last couple of years, he deserves it. I got Baker Mayfield at 5.
I like it.
It's first
I
time.
don't hate it.
I mean, since going to Tampa Bay, this is the first time in his now 10-year, I think year 10 now, his 10-year career that the team he's been on has actually designed and tailored the offense around him. When he was in Cleveland, it was still Nick Chubb, and then everything else kind of fell into place after Nick Chubb when Nick Chubb was healthy. Then they shipped him off to Carolina, and Carolina, that's when they started to become the dumpster fire they are now, so they didn't have any direction at that point. And then he came into Tampa Bay basically as Tom Brady's replacement, and they took what worked with Tom Brady, they brought it back to Baker Mayfield, and then they just modified it a little bit. And then you look at what he's done. He leads the NFL in passing yards the last 3 years. He's second in the NFL in touchdown passes the last 3 years. Baker Mayfield is proving that he was worth the number 1 pick that the Cleveland Browns made him when they drafted him. And he very well should be still in Cleveland because Cleveland's still kicking themselves in the foot for letting him go.
Yep.
Pretty much. All right, we're moving into the top 4.
Yes, we are. Moving into the top 4. You touched on it a little bit ago. Jalen Hurts. Yes, I have Jalen Hurts over Patrick Mahomes. Part of it.
Because he beat Mahomes last year. That's why you have him.
The Super Bowl. That is part of it, right? They were interchangeable. Honestly, Mahomes was at my 4 until I heard about Rashee Rice, and then I dropped him down a spot. But, I mean, Jalen Hurts, yes, his numbers don't jump off the paper last year because of how run dominant this team was. He wasn't asked to do that. But I do still feel like Jalen Hurts, when asked to perform, if they do need him to throw the ball more, I think he's going to do it at a lot more of an efficient rate. I don't think we'll see him get back into the double-digit turnovers like that, but I think he is capable of getting back up to like over 3,500 passing yards in a season.
Yeah, and I mean, look, do we expect Saquon Barkley to run for 2,000 yards again? No. That was one of the all-time seasons for a running back, and now I still think Saquon can easily get you into that 12 to maybe 15, even 1,500
I think
range.
he'll get like 1,500.
But no, like we just said a second ago, when Jalen Hurts is called upon, he delivers. And like it's not just Patrick Mahomes. Look at all the elite quarterbacks that went into Cincinnati last year, beat Joe Burrow, beat Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl, went into Baltimore, beat Lamar, continuously goes head to head with Stafford twice last year, beats him twice.
Yeah.
Outdueled Josh Allen last year in Philly with the worst defense in the league. Beat the living crap out of Jaden Daniels in the NFC Championship game and would have beat him all 3 times if he didn't get concussed in that game in freaking Washington.
Yeah. Not to mention, also beat that Pittsburgh team that had a pretty dominant defense heading into that game.
That 10-minute drive in the fourth quarter, that's something it's hard to see something like that, but I have never seen a team more frustrated than the Pittsburgh Steelers.
I heard Tomlin still has nightmares about that.
Tomlin's been having nightmares since Ben Roethlisberger retired, okay? And you're very generous, both of you are. I'll come out and say that Juju Smith-Schuster stinks. The brothers got Mahomes throwing him the football. He hasn't been relevant since before CTE took over AB's brain. That's the last time Juju mattered in this league.
Oh.
He'll be joining CTESPN once he retires.
Oh, no.
Him, AB, and Le'Veon, the 3 Nimrods. Can we get a documentary on that Steelers team? That must have been some lovely locker room situations.
So my number 4, I think the top 4 quarterbacks aren't going to be a surprise. I think it's just more so where you put the top 4 that could alter everything.
Yeah.
But my number 4 is Joe Burrow. And you look at the year that Joe Burrow had. You take Jamar Chase or T. Higgins off that team, does Joe Burrow do what he does?
No.
That's why he's 4.
Okay.
Flat out, that's why he's 4. Because he's got Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. And because he has to throw 50, 60 times a game because his defense is shit. Otherwise, I mean, you put him on a team like Philly. Joe Burrow still having good seasons, but he's not throwing for 4,900 yards in Philly. He's not throwing for 45 touchdowns in Philly. He's throwing probably for 4,000, 30 touchdowns, 35 touchdowns because Philly has a run game. When you have the worst defense in the NFL, when you don't have a run game and you're forced to throw 60 times a game, you better be throwing for almost 5,000 yards and almost 50 touchdowns a year, especially when Chase and Higgins are your top two wideouts.
Oh, yeah.
So that's why he's at 4, because he's punished for what he has to throw to.
Okay.
All right.
Hey, you bruiser.
Welcome, Bruiser.
Bruiser has to make sure I get tortured tonight because he probably won't be on tomorrow because he doesn't want to hear about fantasy football and dueling aces.
Oh no, I did. That's the the one show a year that I get PTO for. I don't show up for that one. It's known that I'm not coming on that one. Although apparently at like 9 o'clock I have to come on to talk about college football and NASCAR because the draft should be done by then. But we know George.
All right, so let's round out the rest of our list real quick before we get into other stuff. I have Patrick Mahomes at number 4.
I have him at 3, so you can take my 3 off then.
Yeah, so I mean, it's everything that Tyler said. I could just piggyback off of him. I mean, Mahomes, even statistically last year, he was okay. 26 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. But also, again, he was gifted a lot of close wins last year because of their defense and their special teams. Now he's without Rashee Rice for the first.
You're saying Patrick Mahomes is the 4th best quarterback?
Heading into this season, yes.
I think that's generous.
It probably is. Now, some of it has to do with, because I said this about Jalen Hurts. Eventually, your resume has to count for something. He's got a generous resume. He's had a good career. And again, but like I said, he was not the best quarterback in football last year. He wasn't the top 3 best quarterback in football last year. Anything from 5 down you want to talk about? That's fine.
And last way he played last season, I said he was the 3rd best quarterback in his division last year.
I think he's
his division last year.
He's a lower top 10 quarterback at best.
Yeah.
Oh my
God.
No,
I can't go that far because even with
between 5 and 10, yeah, he's somewhere there.
No, I can't do that.
Well, hey, I actually had him at 5, so I mean,
you make it to the AFC Championship game every year for the most part. You're not going to be put below a top 5 quarterback.
Look at your competition on his own. Look at your competition in the AFC. It's the Bills and the Bengals and not much else.
The Ravens. You have an improving Denver team. You have a Chargers team that took massive strides last year. Like his competition in the AFC.
You're talking about teams that have done things in the past year. You're not the perennial competition for the Chiefs has either been the Bills or the Bengals. Not much else. The Ravens stub their toe every year. Let's not pretend like they're good.
This show's about to go off the rails.
See, that's the argument that I can't make with people because you could say the same damn thing about Josh Allen. Who the hell does he have for competition in his fucking division? Josh Allen cakewalks for his entire career because his division is garbage.
Since
and you're going to penalize Mahomes because you're saying that he has 3 teams that are competition for him? Josh Allen is gifted 6 damn wins a year.
I didn't say that the Bills were much better, my friend.
But Mahomes is a top 5 quarterback. He's going to be a top 3 quarterback. He has every single record possible for a quarterback in his first 7 or 8 years in the league. It doesn't matter what his competition is. It is the body of resume and the body of work.
It's okay that you're dog whistling hard for Kermit the Frog, man. I get it.
No, I look at the numbers. He has every single passing record through 7 seasons, ahead of Brady, ahead of Manning, ahead of Breeze. If you look at every record through 7 years, Mahomes is number 1 for every single one. That alone makes you a top 3 quarterback because he's had to do this with far superior talent than some of these other quarterbacks have had. He still puts up.
That makes you a top 3 for those seasons. Doesn't make you a top 3 going into this one.
This is the first time I've dropped him from the number 2 spot.
Oh,
I've had him number 1 and number 2 his entire career.
Boy, Mel Kiper, look out. We got Dustin on the trail.
Oh, my God.
That's like
Not
that.
no Kuiper.
Like that is an insult. Like I don't even like the Chiefs, but I still respect greatness. And what Mahomes has done in his first 7 years is something we're probably never going to see again. So I'm going to
We
enjoy
said the
what
same
he has
thing
done.
about Brady, and the same thing about Manning. We're never going to see
No.
this again. And what's
Brady
going to
wasn't.
look when they
Brady
keep
wasn't like
changing,
Mahomes. Brady wasn't
when they
like Mahomes until the second half of his career. The first
Buddy.
6 years of Tom Brady wasn't that good of a quarterback. He was
Buddy,
carried by
listen,
the defense.
Put Patrick Mahomes back in the NFL between the years of 2001 and 2006. He's a flash in the pan quarterback who has a 3-year career and is out. He has benefited from the fact that the NFL has written more rules to benefit the offense and hamstrung and neutered the defense. Don't give me this he's that good. They've made the rules for him to be that good.
I will say this: if you put Mahomes back when Tom Brady played, and you gave him Tyreek Hill, he's winning at least 4 Super Bowls during that time because there was not a single defensive back that could have covered Tyreek Hill because there was nobody that ran that fast back then. Tyreek Hill would have been running straight verticals.
I think people would have tried to knock Tyreek Hill out back.
I know what I'm saying, but if you couldn't get a body on him and he got past you, he'd be running straight verticals the whole game, and Mahomes would just be flinging at 65 yards because no one would have been able to keep up with him.
I mean, Troy Polamalu would like a word. Tim Brown would like a word.
Troy Polamalu ran a 4.5 40. Tyreek Hill runs a 4.2. Polamalu would have been eating his own ass because he wouldn't have been able to backpedal fast enough to turn his body.
It's kind of hard to beat somebody in a 40 when your face is full of dirt because they laid you out 3 plays before. Polamalu would have hit him so hard, he'd have woken up in the 3rd grade.
Would you just like me and Tyler just to leave?
That is the one argument that I just can't. I just cannot. When everyone says like Mahomes is not a top,
my stance on the Chiefs, honestly, I think the Chiefs are getting out of their dominance.
Yeah, the Chiefs are getting out of their dominance. I will agree with that. But like when people come here and say like Mahomes is like a borderline top 10 quarterback, and like look at the guy's resume.
10. I didn't say borderline.
You said he was a lower top. Like you said he was closer to the top 10. No, because if he would retire right now, he's a first ballot Hall of Fame quarterback.
Sorry,
he is. How many He has the 3rd most Super Bowl wins all time. And he's been in the league 8 years. He has every single passing record through 7 seasons. He retires now. He is a first ballot Hall of Fame quarterback because of the rings that he has. And everyone in this panel will agree and know that. You have 3 Super Bowl rings in a 4-year stretch, and 4 in like a 7-year career. You have 4 rings on your finger. Anybody with 4 rings on their finger has a gold jacket and is sitting in Canton right now and has been a first ballot Hall of Famer. No quarterback, no player in NFL history that has won at least 3 Super Bowls has ever been a first ballot Hall of Famer. The guy's a first ballot Hall of Famer, whether he plays another down in the NFL or not. It's a fact in history.
It's the NFL. He would be.
Yeah, it's a fact that it's history. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer. And he still has at least 10 years left to try to win 3 more Super Bowls. And depending on what the Chiefs do and how they draft, he still has a shot to win 3 more Super Bowls to catch Brady's number. He really does. Whether you want to admit it or not, he's going to break every single passing record. The only thing he might not break is Tom Brady's Super Bowl record because I don't think anyone's going to catch that mark. But he's probably going to finish with every single passing record when he is done playing. And if you're going to sit here and say that that is not first ballot Hall of Fame worthy, I don't know what to tell you.
No, that wasn't the argument. You said if he retired tomorrow, he was the first ballot.
He is. He's got 4 rings.
You didn't say
he's got 4 rings. No player that has ever had 4 rings has ever not been a first ballot Hall of Famer. So if he were to retire today, 5 years from now, he's a first ballot Hall of Famer.
And he took a 9-7 team. So by that logic, Eli's a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Eli Manning will get in his second ballot next year. He was like 1 percentage point away from being a first ballot Hall of Famer last year. And it's because he has 2 Super Bowl rings because he beat the Patriots twice. That's the only reason why Manning gets the leverage he has. And he was not that good of a quarterback. He was a 500 quarterback most of his career. He had less than a 1-to-2 interception ratio at some points, but he was still almost a first ballot Hall of Famer because of what he did in the playoffs. Statistically speaking, Eli Manning is a top 5 quarterback all time in the playoffs. That's why he almost got a first ballot Hall of Fame. He was literally 1 percentage point away from being a first ballot Hall of Famer last year. And he was not the greatest quarterback until the playoffs. So if Eli almost gets in as a first ballot Hall of Famer, Mahomes is guaranteed to be first ballot Hall of Famer, even if he doesn't play another down because he's only like 6,000 passing yards behind what Eli had for his career. 7 years into the damn league.
I can't wait for the day that Mahomes retires and he's a second-year Hall of Famer, and then I can watch you fucking lose your mind.
He won't be.
I gotta say now,
He won't be.
He'll be a first
He won't
ballot.
be.
He'll be a first ballot.
Yeah, there's no argument you can make that he's not a first ballot Hall of Famer.
I mean, there's plenty of arguments.
He's the first love of the NFL since Tom Brady retired.
Yeah, like even with that though, like there is no valid argument you can make that he's not a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Do you think we could get him to sing "It Ain't Easy Being Green" when he goes up on stage and does his Hall of Fame speech, though?
I wouldn't care if he did.
I would love that.
What were we talking about before this whole thing escalated?
I don't know. What were we
You were
talking
finishing your quarterback list.
Oh, that.
Wait, real quickly. The top 15 for the top 100 has been released.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So number 15 was Goff, right?
Yep.
14 was Hendrickson.
Mm-hmm.
13 was Penei Sewell. 12 was Chris Jones. TJ Watt was 11.
That a baby.
Pat Surtain is number 10.
Love it.
Justin Jefferson's number 9.
Yep.
Myles Garrett is number 8.
Yep.
Derrick Henry is number 7.
T-Hands.
Joe Burrow came in at number 6. Patrick Mahomes came in at number 5. Jamar Chase came in at number 4. Josh Allen came in at number 3. Lamar Jackson, number 2. And number 1 on the NFL Top 100 list, Saquon Barkley.
Yep.
All right, they got something right.
Yeah, like
Don't know how Jamar Chase is higher than Joe Burrow, but yeah, we'll go with that.
hey, I mean, every list you're going to find is going to have Mahomes in the top 3 for quarterbacks.
He was 5.
No, that's the 5th best player in the NFL, counting all positions. He's the 3rd quarterback on that list behind Allen.
That's all that matters.
No,
He's
it's not.
where he
We're talking quarterbacks. We're not talking all players. He's a top 5 quarterback in every
I should
single.
never have brought this up.
Every single list, he's a top 5 quarterback. He's listed as the 5th best player, but he's a top 5 quarterback.
Number 5. That's where he should be. 5. Like King Kong Bundy. Count to 5.
I don't have Patrick Mahomes as a top 10 player in the NFL, but I still have him as a top 3 quarterback. I don't have him as a top 10 player though.
I can't wait till he tears an ACL this season. This will be great.
He doesn't tear an ACL because he gets rid of the ball so quick.
Got them rubber legs. Runs like a chicken.
And
Like
since you just dropped that, Sam, since you just dropped that list, that is the rest of my top 10 list too. I have Allen 2 and Jackson 1.
Okay.
I was say, Tyler, do we just want to run through our
So my number 3, I got Lamar Jackson. Number 2, I got Josh Allen.
Yeah.
And at number 1, I got Joe Burrow.
I've got Mahomes at 4, Allen at 3, Jackson at 2, and I got Burrow at 1.
Are you guys just going Burrow 1 because of the year he had last year?
I just think, honestly, arm-wise, he's probably the most talented quarterback in the NFL.
If Joe Burrow's defense plays adequately for like 1 week and he leads that dumpster fire into the playoffs, Josh Allen can kiss his MVP award goodbye.
Well, yeah, no, I agree. But here's the other argument you got to make, though. If Cincinnati's defense plays better, does Joe Burrow put up the numbers he does? Because he's not going to be asked to throw 60 times a game. They're going to be able to run the ball a little bit more, slow the game down because the defense is making stops on the other end. That's why I dropped Burrow to number 4, just because he has no defense. He has to throw. He's going to throw 50, 60 times, and he has Jamar Chase and T. Higgins catching it. You take Jamar Chase out of that offense, Burrow's borderline top 10.
Well, that did kind of factor in because they still have no defense this year. So I imagine him having a similar.
Yeah, that's why. Like, I think Burrow would be a borderline top 10 if you take Chase out. Like, he would not even be good because T. Higgins is not a number one. And if T. Higgins is going to be trusted to be your number one, your numbers are not going to be what you're expecting him to be.
Yeah.
That's why. That's the only reason why I drop Burrow as low as he is, just because it's like you have one of the two best receivers in the NFL as your number one. You have arguably the number two receiver in the NFL. You should be able to put up big games with those guys knowing that you're going to be throwing 50, 60 times a game.
Yeah. And the other thing is, now, a lot of it has to go off with last year. But the reason he is over the other two. Now, yes, I understand Burrow isn't as consistent in the postseason and getting there as the other two. The other two also have better roster construction than Joe Burrow. Because let's be real. Nobody is saying that the Bengals missed the playoffs last year and is blaming it on Joe Burrow.
No. They're blaming it because they don't have an offensive line or a defense.
Exactly. But the other two, I'm about sick and tired of Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen. I'm about sick and tired of clamoring over how great these two are when every damn year it's the same story. Josh Allen cakewalks his division because it's the worst division in football. He's doing exactly what Brady did. Gets to the freaking playoffs. He beats freaking 6 or 7 seed.
And what do those two quarterbacks have in common? Who do they always lose to in the playoffs?
Oh, exactly. And I'm not disagreeing with that, but that's my problem here. That's the other thing. There is a little bit of a longevity because the only guy, like you said, in the AFC that will ever come close to competing with Patrick Mahomes or beating him is Joe Burrow. Yeah. I have watched Lamar Jackson, and this is not because they have to go to Arrowhead. Lamar Jackson was the 1 seed, had the AFC title game in his building, and he shit the bed like Aldrich Crumpler when Brian Dawkins knocked his ass out in 2004. Josh Allen, he's a deer in headlights the second he sees the Chiefs in the playoffs.
Lamar Jackson.
They tried changing the rules because Josh Allen complained about overtime, and he still can't beat Patrick Mahomes. And he's also had him in his own house and lost.
If Joe Burrow had 1 ring, I would rank Joe Burrow the number 1 quarterback. It's the fact that he doesn't have that ring and that the other two, like Josh Allen has an MVP. Lamar Jackson has an MVP. But Lamar Jackson is a multi-dimensional quarterback that's going to run for 1,000 yards every year, and now he's actually throwing for 4,000 yards, which was something that nobody thought he could do. Because when he was drafted, the one thing people said was he doesn't have the arm, he doesn't have the accuracy, he's not going to be a good passer. Last time I checked, he's been a very accurate passer the last 3 years, and he's improved his passing game every single year the last 3 years.
Oh, yeah.
So Lamar Jackson's doing things that no one expected him to do. And then you got Josh Allen. He came from Wyoming, one of the smallest Division I colleges in the country. Everyone thought he came into a situation where it's like, oh, people are only drafting Josh Allen as high as they're drafting him because he had a good combine. And granted, he had a hell of a combine. He threw a ball 71 yards from his knees without even moving. Like, yes, he had a hell of a combine. Like, people banked on his arm. But Josh Allen has proven that just because he went to a small school in Wyoming, the dude is legit. Like, he is just like Lamar Jackson, except the only difference is he doesn't run as much, and he throws for more yards.
Throws for more yards. Allen?
Yeah.
Well, that's not true based off of last year.
No, not last season, but in general, though. Like, in general, like, Josh Allen is going to have more passing yards than Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson is going to have more rushing yards than Allen in general. It's last year. Last year you had James Cook, which finally took a little bit of the pressure off of Josh Allen. That was the first time in his career that he actually had a legitimate running back that he could turn around and hand it to 20, 25 times a game.
Yeah.
He never had that. He was their leading rusher the first 4 years of his career because he never had a running back.
Yeah, and if you kind of look back to what you were saying about Jalen Hurts in 2023 with the turnovers, that was kind of like Josh Allen before James Cook got there.
Yeah, exactly.
He literally was relied on to do everything.
Yep.
Not to mention, he also had to divide a freaking relationship in the locker room with Stephon Diggs, which that's a freaking... That's a headache in its own right.
Yeah.
All right, so now that Bruiser's here, just before we get to our college football stuff, we always do have our weekly segment of Around the NFL, which is basically we give our freaking predictions. All right, Dustin either had to cut out or he just accidentally cut out. So hopefully he comes back to us. But before we get into the college football talk, let's do Around the NFL. Let's pick our predictions for each game for week 1. So we'll start easily Thursday night, Eagles Cowboys. Who wants to go first here?
Eagles.
Yeah, I'm about to say it's the freaking Eagles. Bruiser, you are welcome to give your opinion as well, even though you are not an NFL guy.
I don't care. I hope both teams get dysentery and fail the Oregon Trail. I don't know. Who is it?
Eagles, Dallas.
I mean, I guess the Eagles. Part of me just wants to say Dallas to watch you guys cry, but we both know that's not going to happen.
Let's go with the Eagles as well. All right. So next up, we have Friday, September the 5th. We have the Sao Paulo, Brazil game, Chiefs and Chargers.
Give me the Chargers for an upset. Keep that bad taste in the Chiefs' mouth from the Super Bowl. Let them go down to Brazil and start the season with a loss.
I'm going to go with Kansas City. That Chargers team concerns me. The offensive line without Rashawn Slater, I'm just really concerned about it. Clint's also going with the Chiefs. All right. Now we can move on to the Sunday games. First up, we have Bucks at Falcons.
Give me the Buccaneers. Falcons, they'll be a solid team this year, but I'm high on the Buccaneers.
I am high on the Bucks too. Yeah, I'm going to go with Tampa Bay. Next up, we have Steelers at Jets.
Oh, man. It's literally a battle of the swapped quarterbacks, as you could say.
Essentially.
Give me the Steelers, because I still don't know what the Jets are capable of doing in this NFL.
Give me the Jets for the upset. The line's only 2.5. Give me the Jets.
All right.
Oh, God. Here comes the Knockout Bowl. Colts hosting the Dolphins.
Yikes.
Can I vote a tie?
Hold on. Healthy Tua to start the season. Hopefully we'll make it through the whole game. Still don't know if Devon Nation's playing week 1. He claims he's going to be ready. But we'll have to see if he actually gets the normal amount of reps. Tyreek Hill should be playing. Waddle should be playing. Give me the Dolphins, man. Who am I going to pick? Daniel Jones? Come on.
Yeah, I'm going to go. I'll agree with you and Clint. I'll go with the Fins. All right, next up, we got the Battle of the Cats. We've got Panthers at Jaguars.
Panthers, Jags. Interesting one. Give me... That's tough. Jags are home. I like what Carolina's trying to do. But give me Jacksonville. Something to prove. The new head coach coming in there. Give me Jacksonville.
Okay.
Some cheap tickets, too.
I'm going to once again agree with you and go with the Jags. I like Carolina. I like what they're doing, but I think Jacksonville is... I think the Jags are going to pull out the week 1 win. All right, second NFC East matchup. Commanders hosting the Giants.
Oh. Now, I love to make my jokes about the Giants all the time. It's the best quarterback room they've had in probably, I can't even remember how long. Well before
Decades.
Eli retired. So, just kidding. Give me Washington. Giants
Yeah,
aren't
give me the
week one, man. Can't talk myself.
Maybe if Jackson Dart played.
Maybe. But then he's still a rookie, you know?
That line is 6.5.
Real? That's shocking.
That's a big line for a division game week 1. All right, next up we got Cardinals at Saints.
Cardinals, Saints. Give me the Cardinals. It's not even a thought in my mind.
Yeah, please. The Saints stink.
And if anyone wants to go see that game, $37 is the cheapest ticket. Have fun.
Damn you, Clint.
Oh my gosh. You know what, Clint? I agree. Give me the eating a W if he's starting.
Just, please knock it off.
He's gonna eat the Washington logo.
Next up, we got Bengals at Cleveland.
Is that even a question?
Joe from the Burrow.
And somehow Cleveland will upset them. No idea.
Yeah, okay.
How. No idea.
If the Browns score 20 points there, I'm firing my defensive coordinator.
Well, you got to think. I mean, the Eagles' backups walked all over their starters in the preseason.
The Browns have an uncanny way of making Joe Burrow and the Bengals look like idiots.
There you go. Mm-hmm.
Fair point.
Don't underestimate it.
This is coming from a Browns fan, by the way. Or at least somebody who has the elf tattooed on their shoulder.
Clint's going with the Browns. All right, next up, Patriots hosting the Raiders.
That's an interesting one. New England's home. The line's 2.5. Because I think Vegas is gonna have a decent year. They'll finish above 500. Don't know how much higher above 500, but they'll finish above 500. New England should be poised for a good year. Drake May getting the training wheels off. Give me the Patriots.
Yeah, I think Vrabel's going to come out. I think their defense is ready to get back to that Patriot way of where they're just going to lock you down.
I think I picked them up for fantasy.
Not a bad pickup. All right, next up, Niners at Seahawks.
Niners, Seahawks. Oh, man.
This is literally a battle of which defensive line caves first. I mean, offensive line caves first.
Yeah. Let's see. San Fran, a little banged up at wide receiver heading into the season.
A little? They could have George playing wide receiver. That's how banged up they are.
Oh, my gosh. But they have a healthy Christian McCaffrey for week 1. That puts me in the same boat as Tua.
We ain't confirmed he's healthy till kickoff.
You are right.
George would have to be able to see his cleats to tie them to play wide receiver, first of all.
Oh, no. He'll get some special slip-ons.
I'd say I'm sorry to George, but you think this is bad. You should see what Tuesday nights are like.
Oh, no.
You should see what the group chat's like.
Oh, God. The group chat's freaking worse than the show.
Which I'm still lobbying hard to get Tyler into that group chat.
Hey, man. Send it over.
You'll have it on mute within the first 3 minutes.
Give me San Fran because I'm still not sold on Seattle.
I'm going Seattle because I don't know if San Fran has any weapons.
All the running backs, even aside from Christian McCaffrey, all the running backs and how notorious their run game is, they're going to make it work. And he still got George Kittle. Come on.
Oh, damn it. Now Clint's starting.
Oh, no.
Oh, my God. This is getting worse and worse.
What does
I
that
got
mean? He can't
Georgia.
bend
Doesn't.
over.
Poor George isn't even here to defend himself.
He can't defend himself to begin with. That would require a range of motion. Have you seen him? That poor guy's like an Oompa Loompa.
Oh,
I can only imagine how that group chat is.
you don't want to know.
Well, Tar Heels are off to a good start tonight. Just want to throw that out there.
Yeah, they're down 16-7.
Yep. That was a nice opening touchdown. Congratulations.
All right. Broncos hosting the Titans. Tough first game for Cam Ward.
It is. And they're going to Mile High. Give me Denver.
That's the biggest line of the weekend, 7.5.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Now here's the game that I'm excited for: Packers Lions in Lambeau.
Lions.
You know what?
I could.
Give me
I
the
could see the
Lions
Lions
too,
playing
because the
spoiler.
Lions. Though, if you think the Lions aren't upset about how last year went, getting bounced by the Commanders, I don't care who they lost coaching wise. All right, still got Dan Campbell, still got all those weapons, all those talent. Aiden Hutchinson coming back. Give me the Lions with a bad taste in their mouth. They're going to beat the Packers.
God damn it. That's a good one.
Oh my.
I'm taking a photo of this comment.
Save that one for later.
All right, so Clint said after that, he said Denver, and then he's also going with the Lions. Totally lost my train of thought. All right. Next up, we got Rams hosting the Texans. I'm not even letting anyone say it before me. Give me the Rams, because that Rams front is going to tear the freaking Texans offensive line to pieces.
Yeah. And we all know they don't love to run the football, so don't expect much out of Mixon.
This is out for the first month.
Didn't know that. Well,
Nick Chubb is RB1.
Even if he was playing, he was probably going to be out for the whole first month. So,
Sorry, they got Nick Chubb.
well, let's see how long he holds up. All right, yeah, give me the Rams. What's the line's only 3.5?
Is that how many sacks that CJ Stroud's going to have to try to avoid?
That might just be how many sacks Jared Verse has himself.
Fair point. All right, and now we're back on Sunday Night Football. Bills hosting the Ravens in a divisional rematch.
That's a tough one. Bills
I'll
got
go with the Ravens.
Field. I know the Ravens they're pissed off. I don't know. I don't know how Buffalo does it. I don't know how they win games. I'm still trying to figure that out because they don't have any flashy wide receivers. They just have Josh Allen, a good run game, but they're still a pass dominant team.
Because they spread the ball to multiple guys.
Yeah. It's definitely a younger group now that they don't have Mixon might not play at all. That's crazy.
Oh, good Lord.
But yeah, give me the Ravens. Give me the Ravens getting a win on the road to start the year.
I'll go with the Ravens. I think Lamar is annoyed, pissed off, and a bunch of other things. And then we have the Dustin Reese Bowl as the Bears host the Vikings.
Oh, man. See, on one hand, you have J.J. McCarthy, who hasn't played an NFL snap yet. The other hand, you have Caleb Williams, who looks like he shouldn't have played an NFL snap yet. Was that too harsh?
Not after what I saw
the
last year.
practice stuff that I've seen just from this past month, he don't look good at all. So Ben Johnson, you got something to show us with him being your starting quarterback, because all the weapons he's got around him on paper, they should be great. If they don't succeed, I don't know where you go from there. The revamped offensive line, they got to make it happen. But I really wouldn't be surprised if Minnesota wins that game. But give me the Bears.
Yeah, I think Ben Johnson gets his tenure off to a good start with a win. So give me the Bears.
Two really good offensive lines going up against each other there.
Oh, yeah. Two revamped offensive lines and two kind of stellar defenses, too.
Yeah.
Bears defense has a bunch of new pieces, but now headed by Dennis Allen. So,
Mm-hmm.
and, Brian Flores always has a top-notch defense wherever he goes. So, Minnesota's going to be headhunting for Caleb. So, it'll surely be interesting. Adam Thielen back with the freaking Vikings, which
Yeah,
I'm still like
Addison out for how many games was it he's missing? 4? 3?
right. Imagine when he gets back, that trio's kind of scary.
Yeah.
Okay, well, since the reason we have Bruiser on with us is we are here to talk some college football as well.
Good at that.
And I'm assuming I know we're going to start with this.
Yeah, the really shitty call on Saturday night between LSU and Clemson.
Ooh.
Oh, I thought we wanted to start with what happened in the shoe.
I thought we were going to rip the Band-Aid off.
Listen, you held Ohio State to 203 yards of total offense.
Yeah.
Oh, it was a great defensive game on both sides.
You held their star receiver to 40 yards, no touchdowns. You made them look less than pedestrian. It's too bad your quarterback cannot play, because that should have been a triple score win for Texas.
So now, are you upset with Arch Manning? Are you out on him, or you think he'll brush this off? And
what did I say in the chat Saturday? It makes me nostalgic for Quinn Ewers.
Oh, no way, no way.
He did say that.
There's no way.
And I immediately threw up a little bit in my mouth when I said it. You cannot, as a quarterback and as a leader on that team, you cannot be that indecisive on the goal line on fourth down. You cannot have running lanes and receivers to throw to and then take a sack. You cannot play the way that he played. And Clint, I am calm. I am very calm. The Stark, the offensive coordinator, and Arch Manning, all three need to do a better job of making sure he's prepared. Because you've got a murderer's row schedule coming up. You've got to schedule.
Yeah,
Here, hold on. I'm not going to read the whole schedule to you, but just so you're aware, right? They played Ohio State, then they go play San Jose and UTEP and Sam Houston, and then they go to Florida. And then they play Oklahoma. And then they go to Kentucky. And then they play Mississippi State. And then they play Vandy. And then they play Georgia. Now, Kentucky, Mississippi State, and Vandy are all unranked right now. But those three teams consistently in the SEC have been roadblocks for much better teams. They've been roadblocks for Georgia and Bama and Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
So, yes, to expect more out of Arch Manning, who has sat on the bench for a year and a half and had some play time last year in significant moments, is not out of the realm of expectation as a Texas fan.
Yeah, and I mean, it was his first his first start in his career on the road. Both his games last year he played at Texas. So,
Tough.
and again, like Clint said, one team has gone in there and won since 2021. It's not an easy place to go and play.
I think they'll be fine.
I'm not saying it's an easy place to go play. It's not. I didn't go into it. I never said that Texas was going to win by double digits. I never had any qualm that like they were just going to cakewalk Ohio State.
Yeah.
Now, I said that to those two Ohio State fans in line for a roller coaster Friday night, but that's because I was mad and wanted to start a fight.
Yeah, I think those lesser opponents they play, those 3 games in a row, it's going to be a good little tune-up, get everyone in sync. It was obvious Arch needed a tune-up game before going up against an opponent like Ohio State.
I bet you they cancel that game for next year.
Probably, or at least not to start the season. They're playing a beat-up team week 1. They're not playing a ranked opponent week 1.
They're playing Nevada like Penn State did.
Look, I don't know that you could play a quote-unquote beat-up team because look at what Tennessee did with Syracuse. Tennessee struggled against Syracuse.
They did.
Yeah.
Or look at Bama and Florida State. That should have been a beat-up game for Alabama.
Florida State's still a respectable enough school.
It's a respectable enough school, but they're outside of the top 25.
Maybe not after this week.
No, they'll be. I think they'll be firmly in like the top 15. I think Alabama losing saved Texas's ass.
Yeah.
Because Texas isn't going to fall to 8 or 9. They'll probably fall to about 6.
Yep.
Well, and Clemson lost too, so that also may save you.
That's what I mean. Like that Clemson game. You know, I mean that. I was watching Final Score on ESPN on Sunday morning. And they were talking about or Final Report, whatever their college football wrap-up show is. I can't remember the name of it. But they were talking about that game, and their analysts were like, well, he bobbled the ball, but we can clearly see that it wasn't a catch. And I'm like, wait a minute. The rules analysts that are actual officials both said that was a catch and a touchdown. And it happened twice. Twice that things went for review and they came back with different calls that were entirely. I think that there needs to be something in the offseason already where if you go to review, you can't come back with a different call entirely.
Yeah, it's got to be within the realm of what was asked to be reviewed.
Yeah. The Michigan game. They come back they're reviewing it to see if it was a forced fumble, and they come back and throw the kid out for targeting when it wasn't targeting at all.
I didn't see that, so.
You didn't see that?
No.
In the Michigan game, I forget the guy's name. He came off the edge, and it was a great, clean. I mean, it reminded me of Dwight Freeney in the early 2000s. Just off the edge, nobody around him. Kid was getting ready to throw, and the Michigan player jumped up like in the air and kind of like bear hug tackled him. And they happened to go face to face when they hit. And it looked all incidental when it happened. It was a forced fumble, all that stuff. They go to review for the fumble. They come back and call him for targeting and kick him out of the game.
saw worse hits in the playoff last year.
It was that call and the LSU call are like, if you go to review, you should not be able to review it for anything other than what you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can't come back with a new call.
Well, no, because literally, the call in the LSU and Clemson game is either touchdown out at the 1. Now all of a sudden it's an incomplete pass when it wasn't an incomplete pass.
The ref made this motion and then waved his arm and pointed at the goal. Like, he did the whole out at the 1, make the clock move, all that shit. I watched a number of games on Saturday. I love the quad box feature that YouTube TV has. Man, it's so nice.
Oh, dude, it's like Christmas.
But I think because he got called for targeting, he's suspended. There's nothing they can do about it. They can't appeal it. Wow. Nothing. Yep.
That's brutal.
Yep. It wasn't even It wasn't targeting. Because even the announcers are like, "Huh? What?" Just like Herbie and Fowler on the LSU game. And speaking of which, Fowler needs to watch his fucking pot shots at Texas.
But no, yeah, it was definitely a fun first week. I mean, I came home, I got to watch Ohio State, Texas when I got home. That got me up to Penn State. Then I got to go into the freaking. I started watching the Michigan game, but then when LSU and Clemson kicked off, I was like, all right, now I'm going to watch this.
That Penn State game, I really, really, really wanted Nevada to like keep it interesting, just so I could watch you have the same aneurysm I just had. We were at one of my really good friends. His daughter's 13th birthday was Saturday, so we had the birthday party, right? And we were over there, and they're all Ohio State fans, and they know that I'm a Texas fan. And when we were going to the party, I was like, he starts his shit, I'm getting in the car and leaving, and I'll come pick you up when the party's over. And to be honest, everybody there was fairly respectable. But we started watching the Penn State game afterward, and I was shut up, Clint. But we started watching that Penn State game afterward, and we were talking about Nevada, and I was like, that perennial powerhouse, Nevada. I was like, the Lobos.
Yeah, I don't understand our first 3 games this year. I don't know why. I'm used to playing like not.
That's how you understand it. 3-0. You know who Texas needed to play week 1? East Texas A&M.
I think
that SMU whooped.
I think that if you were in a Power 5 conference, it should be required that you schedule at least one out-of-conference game with a top 25 school.
I don't hate it. But I mean, even back just like when Franklin first came here, within the first 3 weeks, we always played Pitt. Now he like doesn't want to play Pitt.
Because Pitt beat you guys the one year, remember?
Yeah.
After that, he was like, "Oh, we're not risking this anymore."
Pitt beat you guys by, I think it was a touchdown the one year.
Yeah.
Speaking of Pitt,
I mean, and all in all, the way my game went, everything that I expected to happen, I saw. Aller looked good. I didn't have to. The run game, like I said, I know it was Nevada, but last year, if Penn State would have had Katron Allen and Nicholas Singleton only have 60 yards combined and only 3 catches from their tight ends, they would have lost every game last year because they had no wide receiver talent whatsoever. Speaking
of Penn State, did you tell Tyler about that Facebook post you put out and what I responded with?
Oh, dear. Hold on. Let me. Let me go back and find
He
it.
put out this post Saturday morning about time to go hunting, and I put, what are you hunting? A 9-3 record and a first helicopter bowl?
Oh my god!
Oh, where the hell is it? Oh, here it is. Yeah, you said a 9-3 record and a trip to the Bell helicopter. What?
The Bell helicopter bowl. That is.
Or is it Diamond the Girl?
No, I mean I want a trip to the Pop-Tart Bowl. That's what I want.
Oh yeah, lift that Pop-Tart trophy.
If you don't know, I can ask AI.
I agree. Yeah, I agree, Clint. It should be. I mean,
Yeah, I like that.
We're going
Maybe not
Nevada.
week one, but it definitely within the first 3 weeks.
Yeah, but I mean, we're going Nevada, FIU, and then Villanova.
And then, is it Oregon next?
Yeah,
Then it's Oregon.
you should have a tune-up in between those first 3 games for Oregon. If you think Oregon's the tune-up, then you're in trouble.
I don't care about having a tune-up game. You want to play Our Sisters of the Poor, or you want to go play the Alabama School for the Deaf, Dumb, and Blind, or the Florida MRDD kids. Like, I don't care. Go play them. Beat them up 65-0. I don't care at all. But you should have to play a top 25 team after you beat up on those kids.
How am I supposed to answer you after what you just said?
Easy, Grimace. You just agree with me.
Clint, I do agree. I would just go for the Pop-Tarts. The trophy's nice though.
The trophy is a Pop-Tart.
I know.
It's a working toaster that toasts your Pop-Tart.
And did anyone forget this? That Colin Kaepernick went to Nevada?
Yep.
So what we're saying is that Chubba Purdy is a future Niner.
Oh.
No, a future Brown.
Hey, we're trying to get Arch Manning so that he can blow it on the goal line for us too. All right. Oh man.
And then of course we had, you have the Notre Dame Miami game last night. That was entertaining.
That was a good game.
I didn't watch Catholics versus Convicts 3. I missed it.
Oh my god.
That was great.
Guys, if this show's gone after tomorrow, you should know why.
Did you not see that Barstool was selling those shirts?
Were they actually?
Yes.
Oh my.
I wanted to buy one.
Catholics versus convicts.
Dude.
If you've never watched the 30 for 30 about that whole thing, watch it.
Oh, I've seen it. About the
I'm going to have
Miami.
to after this.
All the stuff in Miami.
Did you not know that that's what they called the game, Sam?
No, I didn't actually.
Yeah, back in the 80s, the very first one, an enterprising young Notre Dame student made the original Catholics versus Convicts t-shirts because of Miami's reputation of being mercenaries and thugs and whatnot. And they made the Catholic versus Convicts shirt, and he got in trouble from the NCAA for it too.
Oh man.
And the University of Notre Dame. Go watch that 30 for 30. It's really good.
I'm going to have to. But no, for that game in general though, it was nice to see that Carson Beck actually remembers how to play football. It definitely was a difference compared to what we saw last year in Georgia.
Yeah.
I'm surprised Stetson Bennett didn't find an 8th year of eligibility to come play for Miami.
He should have hit up Sean Clifford, dude. Asked him how he did it.
No, go ask Diego Pavia in Vanderbilt. He's on like his 9th year, I swear.
Oh, God.
Oh no, I mean, and there's another thing that'll do Texas favors. Notre Dame lost, so
Yep.
And the sky is blue, water is wet, grass is green most places. You're not saying anything that isn't normal.
who do you think when tomorrow morning they're going to put at what?
Penn State.
I hope it's not.
I'm
There's
gonna go
no.
and say Ohio State.
It
Penn
should be
State-
Ohio State,
Penn State will be number 1. Ohio State will be number 2.
Think
and I'm
about it
gonna
this
hate it
way,
forever.
right? Penn State beat who they were supposed to beat.
Exactly.
Ohio State beat the 1 seed.
With the quote unquote Heisman favorite.
Yeah.
Here's what I will tell you. I have never seen number 3 jump number 2 to get to number 1 when number 1 didn't lose. Or number 2 didn't lose. I don't care that it was against Nevada. They won by almost 30 points or over 30 points. They had tremendous barely got 200 yards, and even one of those was a give me by the refs on a penalty that got him into range.
Like that.
Penn State played like a number 1 team. Ohio State did not.
Fair point. I still think. I mean, again, the level of competition that both teams played is astronomically different. But I understand what you're saying. I don't want to be number 1.
You could make that. You could make that argument. You could make that discussion. But what I will tell you is that when it comes down to it, Penn State didn't lose. They won by 30, and they looked like a team that would be number 1. Ohio State played the number 1 team, barely won by 7 points, didn't put up any offensive numbers worth note. They look like a number 2 or number 3 team.
That's valid.
Yeah. What I'm interested in is where is LSU going to be when that poll comes out?
3.
They should honestly. The top 3 should be Penn State, Ohio State, LSU.
Yeah.
I think your top 3 will be Penn State, Ohio State, LSU. I think Texas may drop to 4 or 5.
Okay. Clemson will probably drop to like
from 4 to maybe 9.
Now I got to pull up a ranking.
Because I mean, here's the thing: it's not like Clemson lost to a bad team. They lost to LSU, who I still think should have been ranked higher than 9 in the preseason poll. That LSU team is good. Like, they're really good. They make K Klubnik's life miserable on Saturday night.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this is the DraftKings poll. This isn't the AP poll.
Miami's going to move up out of 10. Bama should be out of the top 10.
Yeah.
So, because honestly, if you look at that game also with Miami and Notre Dame, Tyler, did you watch mostly the whole game?
Oh, yeah.
I feel like Miami dominated the line of scrimmage.
They did. Notre Dame had like a couple of big plays that helped them stay in the game.
Yeah, and wait, before Bruiser gives us that poll, can someone tell me where Jeremiah Love was?
He was out there.
Dude had 10 carries the whole game.
Yeah.
So the AP poll preview for tomorrow has Ohio State at number 1 and Penn State still at number 2, which I think is I think is wrong.
It can go either way.
Somebody thinks that Texas is going to drop all the way down to 9. And that's just idiotic.
Yeah, because like they were obviously ranked 1 during the preseason for a reason. Like all the talent that they have, they lost to a really good team. They're not going to get bounced that far. I could see them maybe going to 5.
Yeah, because here's the thing. Not only that, yes, they lost, but number 4 lost, number 8 lost, and number 6 lost.
Yeah. I'd move Georgia up to 4. Put Texas to 5. Who would we move to 3?
LSU.
You? Yeah.
So Penn, Penn State 1, Ohio State 2, LSU. Sorry, no. Penn State 1, Ohio State 2. Georgia would be 3.
Yeah, I would say Georgia may move to 3, and then LSU may move to like 5.
Yeah.
I'd put LSU at 4 and Texas at 5.
That's about right.
Yeah, I think that'd be fair. Miami's moving into 6? Question mark?
7.
Yeah.
Who moves into 6?
Your mom? I don't know.
Because Notre Dame lost, so maybe Oregon. Oregon will probably go up to 6. Miami to 7. You guys think South Carolina moves up? Or Michigan?
What about Michigan?
Yeah.
Michigan's one of their big tests comes next week when they play Oklahoma.
Notre Dame, they're not going to get knocked out of the top 10. They'll just get dropped down a little bit more.
Yeah, most likely.
So there we go. Now I have the preseason poll from the AP. Oh, give me the whole goddamn poll. There we go. So Notre Dame lost, Clemson lost, and Bama lost. So 4, 6, and 8. And number 1 lost. Your top 5 is going to be Penn State, Ohio State, Georgia, Oregon, and LSU. I don't necessarily know in what order, but I would think Penn State would be number 1, Ohio State would be number 2. I think Texas probably drops to 6. Alabama is going to drop completely to, I think, 15th. I could see Michigan creeping toward the top 10, but not getting into the top 10. Miami's moving up for sure.
Yeah.
LSU's moving for sure. I would be wary about Arizona State hanging around there. Tennessee's probably going to make a big jump. So Carolina South Carolina might make a decent sized jump.
Yeah.
That's my predictions.
I don't hate it. Like I said, Penn State, you said they did what they were supposed to do. They beat the team that they had by the score they should have. Ohio State, yes, even though they won, they still did not play their greatest football either. So I agree with it. The same thing, and that's why I think as much as I wish LSU would jump completely to 3, Georgia and Oregon took care of their business too.
I think you need to we were having what's the point that I made to the idiot Ohio State fans at Cedar Point when the guy told me I couldn't root for Texas because he went to Ohio State and I probably never went to Texas. And I was like, and
so, I love logic. That's great.
Yeah. He's like, you're from Ohio and you root for Texas? And I was like, yes, I do.
I got an interesting one. Since Boise State's getting bounced out of 25, you think Utah should get that spot?
Did you see that game? Did you see that score? Yes, absolutely.
They blew the doors off of UCLA.
Nico.
Nico who?
I was kind of hoping that the Idaho Vandals would have blown the doors off of somebody because I'd like to see Idaho get a top 25 ranking at some point. Oh, dude, he had the Ohio State hat on, and he was wearing a gray pullover with the script Ohio on it like he was. Oh boy, he was something. The fact that they glared at me the whole time we were in line after I riled them up, and then gave me the horns down and middle fingers when we got up the roller coaster. Oh,
Major night.
sure. And listen, you both have met me. I'm not physically imposing, but I'm also not a guy that you'd want to mess with.
Oh my God.
When I tell you that these two dudes couldn't make up one of me, I'm not joking.
They were going to F around and find out.
I'm pretty sure that dude's wife turns on a Hitachi after they're finished.
Oh my God.
Oh no.
Okay.
I don't. If they drop to 4, great, but I think they're going to drop to 6 because enough teams won to fill in the gaps.
He's not wrong though about Alabama. If it was Bama that we were talking about, they drop only to 4.
Bama shouldn't even have been ranked
No,
8.
they dropped.
Nope.
They've dropped to 5. They would have dropped to 5 or 6. It happened to them last year when they were ranked number 1.
True.
Speaking of which, I have heard a lot of talk about how DeBoer needs to be fired.
Yeah.
And I do not think that is fair at all.
If he misses the playoff again, that seat's going to be on fire.
Yeah.
It's not fair in this era.
But you still got to think it's Alabama. I get it. It's not Nick Saban. I know he was a big name. Recruits were drawn to him.
You know what Alabama was before Saban got there?
Not Alabama.
They were Ohio State under John Cooper.
Oh boy.
They won some games. They weren't that great. But that was about it.
So the thing is that Alabama, it's not like they're the only team who doesn't have this NIL money to go out and spend. They could do it too. So why don't they have the talent?
I'm not saying that they shouldn't spend their NIL money. It is that it happened to John Cooper after Woody retired. It happened in Michigan after Lloyd Carr retired. It happened after Paterno was forced out at Penn State.
I'm
we're not going to talk about what happened.
I'm not touching on that subject.
The problem with the coach that has to come after the legend, after the coach that made the program what it was, is that there is no way to fill those shoes. Absolutely none. He would have had to have gone back-to-back national champions and run the table from start to finish, beating teams by double digits every week. And that's not happening in today's college football. DeBoer isn't a bad coach. He's not.
He's just not Nick Saban.
He's not Nick Saban, and that's okay. And I think people really need to realize this. You're not going to be Carr or Woody or Paterno or Frank Beamer, for that matter. Like, you're not going to replace the legendary coaches that easily.
No. And that's why, regardless of what he does in his coaching career, I've always had a respect for Bill O'Brien because he was the guy that had to take over for Paterno, knowing full on you're going to have no scholarships. You are not playing for anything for at least the next 2 to 3 years because we have to try to get that. Because what Penn State essentially had to do after all that stuff happened, they had to basically reinstate to say, can we play in bowl games? It took till James Franklin came back came here to be the coach to get back in a bowl game. But Bill O'Brien just came in for 2 years, won 8 games both years, went little to nothing, and kind of just kept the program afloat until James Franklin came in.
Look, and that's, penalties aside from that whole deal, right? Let's just say Paterno retires. Let's not even just take the penalties out of it. Paterno retires, and Bill O'Brien's the coach that comes in, and he goes 8-4, and gets to a New Year's Day bowl game. They're running him out of town on a rail.
Yeah,
and that's being successful.
Yeah,
that is my problem with some of these alumni and fan bases and boosters, is that they are so used to the success that the legendary coach gives them that they cannot understand that if they keep firing their coaches, they're to try to find that next great legendary coach, they probably are going to miss out on.
Yeah.
Look at Ohio State fans. They've wanted Ryan Day fired for 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, Ryan Day's got the most punchable face in college football.
Oh, no, actually, his defensive coordinator Matt Patricia does.
Oh
no. Listen, you come running out in that polo with your nipple ring hanging out. No, I want to punch you in the face. Did you not see that picture, Tyler?
I did not, and I do not want to see it.
He came running out the tunnel, and he shifted in such a way that his polo is tight, and you can make out the very distinct barbell going through his nipple.
Okay.
Oh, shit.
Maybe TCU needs to be ranked, actually.
That's my wife's favorite team.
Is it?
I'm sure Florida State.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with the fact that she likes Texas or any Texas teams. It's that their name is the Horned Frogs, and frogs are her favorite animal. Therefore, she is
nice.
Fair point. Fair enough. Clint said, "Why bring that up?" Because Clint, why not? Oh my God! All righty. Do we have anything else to add on to this lovely conversation?
Hold on, Sam. Hold on.
Oh no, he has something else.
Oh no.
There. Now you can show that to Tyler.
Oh shoot. Tyler, go check your messenger.
I don't know if I should actually open it or not.
You probably should. Not.
Should not. I hit delete.
No, you should totally look at that.
Oh my God. What the fuck?
It's Ryan Day's nipple ring.
In all defense,
he does have the most punchable.
I was just saying, I just want to look at that. I do want to punch him in the face.
He does have the most punchable face in college football as far as the coaches go. Yeah, I'd put the Horned Frogs up there. I'm glad to see SMU still in the top 25. I really, really wanted SMU to make it to the championship last year. Not that they were going to win it, but just after the death penalty and that school having to fight for so long to try to get back to some semblance to finally make it somewhere. Yeah, I'm a root for SMU any chance I get. We should do this again next week. I like talking college football with you, as long as you're not afraid.
Why would I be afraid?
Sam faced his fears. I think he's good now.
Faced my fears. Jesus.
His biggest fear is a scale.
No, his biggest fear is the extinction of cows.
You know what? I think tonight I'm going to just pull a George.